Their head coach, Mike Schuler, under a little pressure in Los Angeles. We'll talk about that as this game goes along. They're 3 games under 500. They've lost 3 in a row. There's the coach of Sacramento, Rex Hughes. You saw their lineup: Lionel Simmons, Wayman Tisdale, Dwayne Coswell, Mitch Richmond, Spud Webb. With the exception of the 2 guys in the backcourt, Jack, this Sacramento club, a very, very young ball club. In fact, the 2nd youngest team in the NBA.
Well, they are very young, but you look at the lineups for both teams, you see a lot of impressive names, future stars in this league. I think both teams, though, trying to find a way to mesh together, get some playing time, get some experience, and both of these teams could be teams of the future.
The Clippers, in fact, do have a shot at the playoffs this year. They haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. But they and the Seattle Sonics really involved now in a battle for the 8th and final spot in the Western Conference. Seattle won tonight. They're a half game up on the Clippers, so it's a big one for Los Angeles here in Sacramento. And we are underway from ARCO Arena. And it'll be the hometown Kings with a chance to get on the board first. Lionel Simmons puts the first shot up, comes up way off the mark. Golden Polonese pulls down the rebound for the Clippers. Danny Manning will arch the first shot of the night for L.A. It's short. L.A. has not been shooting the ball well in recent games. Here comes Spud Webb. Mitch Richmond trying to get his shooting touch going. He has been cold.
Yeah, he has been struggling the last 2 or 3 ball games, but you see very quickly here the way the Sacramento Kings want to play. Fast break, early offense basketball. They want to put up as many numbers on the board as possible.
Under Rex Hughes, a little bit quicker, more upbeat tempo than they played under Dick Motta.
Yeah, Rex feels that this team is much better when they run, and the shooting percentage shows it.
Harper tries from 3-point territory, and Ron Harper, taking his 161st 3-point attempt of the season, hits for the 46th time. And our first whistle of the night.
Well, you'll see Richmond right here. Now, the early offense is what's going to be key in this game for Sacramento. Rex Hughes wants this team to run more. He wants them to get in the early offense, and that is very much in contrast to the way Dick Motta ran this team.
Interesting matchup in the backcourt. A couple of former teammates. Doc Rivers guarding Spud Webb. They used to share the point guard spot with the Atlanta Hawks. Down to 8 seconds left in the shot clock. Still plenty of time for that man, Wayman Tisdale. He gives you that low post game about as good as anybody in this league.
Well, he shoots that left-hand jump shot, and it usually takes a player a little while to get used to playing him towards the left instead of coming back to his right.
Kings up by 1. Charles Smith from the top of the circle wouldn't go. Manning's tip wouldn't either. Trying to save it in bounds. Dwayne Coswell, but he was out of bounds. And there's the interim coach of the Sacramento Kings, Rex Hughes. He was Dick Motta's assistant. Dick Motta made that statement that one day that when the season is over, I'm going to retire. He was off by about a half a season. He was retired the next day, forced to retire the next day by the Kings.
Well, Rex really looks forward to his opportunity here to try to make this team a winning ball club. He understands that he's very limited as to the time he has to do it. He wants to get the most out of him as he can.
Spud Webb saves it inbounds to Mitch Richmond after the miss by Charles Smith. And Webb operates against Doc Rivers. Over it comes to Lionel Simmons working against Danny Manning. That's a good matchup tonight. We've got some good matchups in this game tonight. Simmons again takes it right around Manning and in for 2.
Well, what makes that a tough matchup is Manning's size and his long arms.
And Danny Manning answers on the other end. Manning averaging close to 18 points a game, has his first 2 of the game. And it's a Sacramento 1-point lead.
73% from the field is Danny Manning over the last 3 ball games. Early offense.
All the way across to Mitch Richmond. Got away from Harper into the paint. Back outside to Webb. He's going to try one from out the 3-point line. He nails it. He's only hit 29% from out there, but he launches one early in the game and hits it. That gives Sacramento a 4-point lead with 9.5 to go in the first. Doc Rivers coming off that hamstring. Rebound Clippers.
Yeah, Doc missed his last 4 ball games with that hamstring and was not supposed to play tonight. He wants to try to get back in the flow of things. He is so important to the success of this team.
You talk to the Clippers coaches, they will tell you that Rivers really sets the tone for the way this team plays. Mitch Richmond way off the mark with that one. Richmond, by the way, playing with a little tendonitis in that left knee. It's bundled up. The turnover gives it right back to Sacramento. The L train. Lionel Simmons has 4 in this first quarter, and it's a 4-point lead for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, why it's so important for Sacramento to get in the early offense, because as a team, they're not shooting all that well. Now up to about 46%, which is not all that bad, but still they struggle in the half-court offense. In order for them to be as successful as Rex Hughes wants them to be, he feels that early offense, just as you saw on that play, is going to be very important the rest of this season.
Simmons completes the 3-point play. He has 5 in this first quarter, and it's a 5-point lead.
And when you have a guy like Spud Webb, the quickest point guard in the league, I think, you have to give him an opportunity to get the ball out and create off the dribble.
Near steal by Richmond. Smith's going to force the shot there. There were 3 Sacramento Kings around him. And the turnover gives it right back to Sacramento. Kings up 12-7. Simmons in this first quarter. 7 points for Simmons. A 14-7 Sacramento lead. Clippers calling a timeout with 8:25 remaining in the first quarter.
It's just
and 36 liters of air are considered faulty. A condom.
just when we thought it couldn't get any weirder, it did. They even brought their own music.
Awesome! Hey, fellas, how about a cold bud? A bud?
Obviously, we thought alike.
Oh, that's cold.
The whole idea for the design behind Jeep Cherokee is to get you wherever you're going, safe and sound. Or if you prefer, safe and no sound.
Now drive for the gold and save $1,500 on new Jeep Cherokees.
For 2 years, Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman have had Atlanta's number. Kevin Willis has had enough. The Pistons take on the Hawks live at 7:35 Eastern Saturday night on TBS.
The bigger they are, the harder they jam. The NBA's best. Look back, look sharp, and look to the sky. All-Star Saturday, February 8th on TNT.
This program authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
We talked about early offense and how important it is for the Kings. This is what set up this shot in the open floor by Lionel Simmons. Now the defense has to come back, play you very closely. They went to the baseline, got him a couple of screens along there, and he got open for the jump shot.
They got Rivers down low. He couldn't make a drop. Spud Webb going wall to wall, trying to dish off to Coswell or Richmond. And the Kings turn the ball over. It goes back to the Clippers. Sacramento up 14-7 with about 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. A key stretch for the Clippers beginning with this game, Jack. They're in that playoff hunt with the Seattle Sonics, and they've got a favorable schedule for the next 4.5 weeks.
Yeah, they go home and play the New Jersey Nets tomorrow. They have Dallas coming in Tuesday night. Out of their 12 games in February, 9 of them in Los Angeles.
Right now, they're being bothered by the upbeat game of the Sacramento Kings. Dwayne Coswell's first 2 of the night. And that makes it 16-7, a 9-point lead.
Well, it's easy to see that this fast-paced offense is good for the Sacramento team.
Harper has Richmond on him. Smith down low to Polonese over Coswell. Comes up short. The putback, though, by Doc Rivers is good. That's his first 2 of the night. So far, that hamstring appears to be just fine. He's moving quite well. 16-9, a 7-point Sacramento lead.
I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen Doc Rivers try to post up Spud Webb a little bit more on the offensive end.
We may see more of that. We saw it once on that last trip down the court. He got a hand on that ball. Tisdale gets it right back there. Hits that jumper. Raymond Tisdale with 4 in the first quarter. And it's up to a 9-point lead again, 18-9.
The Kings coming up with every loose ball right now.
Clippers are having a tough time of it shooting the ball, which has been their problem of late. They're only 4 of 13 in this first quarter from the field. And here's a guy who's really struggled, although not so far tonight. That's his first miss after hitting his first 2. Kings on the run again. Tisdale over Polynice. After 2 bounces on the rim, Polynice pulls away the rebound.
I still look for him to go to Doc Rivers against Spud a little bit more.
Charles Smith, the baseline jumper, his first 2 of the night. And it's back to a 7-point lead, 18-11. Just over 6 minutes to go in the first.
That double screen along the baseline for Lionel Simmons worked very well the last time the Kings had to go to their half-court offense. We'll see if they go back to that. They have a lot of guys that can give one-on-one opportunities. Mitch Richmond, another one.
There's John a little strong, but there's Coswell again. His second field goal made the same way on a putback after a miss from outside. And it's a 9-point lead again for Sacramento. 20-11. At about the halfway mark of this first quarter, the pace for Sacramento, a very high-scoring one right now. They got an offensive foul called against Polynice there.
Well, you won't see Dwayne Coswell a play called for him the entire night. The way he gets his points is off the offensive boards. Polynice is going to have to do a much better job putting a body on him, keeping him off those boards.
20-11, a 9-point lead for Sacramento with a lot of time to go yet in this first quarter. Kings shooting the ball very well. They're 9 of 14 from the field in this first quarter. Make it 9 of 15. The miss by Tisdale. Rebound Clippers.
Good ball movement though by the Kings last couple of times down.
Checking into the lineup, giving Rivers a breather. Rivers is going to only be able to play about 23-25 minutes tonight because of that hamstring. They don't want to give it too much of a run this first game out after missing 4. Smith draws the double team, still able to hit the jumper.
Big time shot. That's pretty good defense that time by Wayman Tisdale.
4 for Charles Smith, but the Clippers still down by 7. Just under 5 to go in the first. Lionel Simmons off to Mitch Richmond. Richmond a little bit unhappy with his being left off the All-Star team again. Spud Webb got free from Danny Young. The jumper wouldn't go. There's Simmons, the offensive board, the putback. He's having a good first quarter, 9 points.
He's had a good month of January. I tell you what, he's had 6 out of the last 9 games double-double, so he's doing it on both ends of the floor.
Danny Manning's been quiet in this first quarter for the Clippers. Spud Webb comes up with a loose ball, a 3-on-2 break. Tisdale, he has 6 in the first, and Sacramento just destroying the Clippers in this first quarter, up by 11 with 4:23 to go, and the Clippers are going to call a 20-second timeout here with 4:23 remaining.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Clippers have had a whole so unusual this time of the year, and it looks like they are just a step behind on everything, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
That's a good point. So many times during the season, every team will get a stretch of 3 or 4 days in a row that they have off. And you would think at this stage of the season, when you've played about 40 games or more, that would be a benefit. I don't think it helps a team to be off for that long.
It does not help at all. The one thing that guys want at this time of the year is more practice time. You get in the habit of playing the games. Now you have to go back and you have a week of practice, and it just blows your mind out to have to think about it.
It can help you if you have an injury. It obviously helped in Doc Rivers' case, getting him back healthy for tonight's game. But it does make you a little stale at times, especially at the outset of a ball game.
Well, you can tell right now.
They're a little bit off.
Yeah, that's a good case of it right there. Harper saw Smith going towards the basket. The bounce pass was just not there, and the timing seems to be off here early for the Clippers.
For the Kings, this is their 3rd game this week, and they're very sharp here in this first quarter.
It's just such a difference playing in games and playing against each other in practice. You just don't have the same mental preparation.
Richmond draws the double team. Danny Manning got a hand on that ball, but Richmond gets it right back. Only 5 seconds left in the shot clock. He'll take the shot immediately. No good. Polynice the rebound for the Clippers.
A lot of people feel the reason why Mitch Richmond didn't make the All-Star team was the fact that he has been in a shooting slump here for the month of January.
Charles Smith with 6 in this first quarter. It's a 9-point Kings lead. 3.5 minutes to go. Tisdale from his favorite spot. Couldn't get that one to fall. He's missed the last couple of tries. And here's Danny Young bringing the ball down for the Clippers. This is a good pickup for L.A. Gives them good backup, good depth at the guard position.
Well, he started 4 of the 7 games he has been with this team. Polynice with the travel on that play. Once again, an indication of this week off.
Pete Van Weer and Jack Gibbons with you from Sacramento, where it's been all Kings in this first quarter, 24-15. We told you they played tough here at home, and they've won 10 of their 13 games this year at home. Above 500 record when they play in front of the home folks, 10-9. Their only meeting with the Clippers this year was a victory on the opening night of the season. They won that game by 4, 94-90. And the Kings are going to call a timeout now with 2:56 to go in quarter number 1. And Sacramento right now enjoying a 9-point lead over the LA Clippers.
There are 6 people in our house, including my mother-in-law, so this new Eagle Summit wagon is perfect for vacation.
West, they say, eat oysters, love longer.
I'm going to tell everyone I know about this new Eagle Summit wagon with all-wheel drive, but I'm not going to call my brother Jim.
Why not?
His name is Stanley.
1983 to 88, Jim Weiner, director of the county's Health and Human Services Department, cuts welfare rolls by 7,500 people before leaving. 1992, able-bodied people are again living on handouts.
Government should care for children, the elderly, and people with disabilities. But those who can work must be responsible. Take job training, take a job, or not take a welfare check. I cleaned up welfare once. I'll do it again.
Paid for by friends of Jim Weiner.
Better. Better.
What could be better than a Best Buy price? A better Best Buy price.
Better.
So this Friday and Saturday, Best Buy is putting everything on sale. And we brought in Bob to make every Best Buy better. But if you want a better Best Buy price, better get to Best Buy while everything is on sale. Because after Saturday, Bob will be marking our better Best Buy prices back.
Better. Better. Better.
Well, one of the big weekends in all of professional sports is fast approaching. All-Star Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern time here on TNT. The NBA Stay in School special on Saturday at noon. And NBA All-Star Saturday with all of those events taking place beginning 7 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday night. All coming up next weekend on TNT.
Well, you see what has happened since the coaching change. Hughes has been here for 18 games. You see the scoring differential from when this team was under Mata, and they're shooting the ball much better. Of course, they're getting closer shots to the basket because of the fast break offense.
Mitch Richmond couldn't get that one to fall. And the rebound pulled away by Polynice. Clippers down by 9 with 2:44 to go in the first.
The Clippers have done a much better job of cutting off the fast break opportunities by this team. Spud Webb with the block from behind.
They'll have 14 seconds left on the shot clock when play resumes here. Danny Young will inbounds it. Smith, who's been one of the few sharpshooters in this first quarter. There's a block by Carswell. He's in the league's top 10 in that category, averaging just under 3 a game. Mitch Richmond along the baseline, couldn't get it to go. Another rebound by Alden Polynice. He's been strong on the boards in this first quarter, but they need to get somebody to score, and that's an easy way to do it.
Well, they finally themselves were able to get in the fast break offense. The inside, the front line scoring 19 to 10 now. Of course, a lot of those 19 points by Sacramento coming in the early offense.
Charles Smith has 8 of the Clippers' 17 points in this first quarter. 2 minutes to go. The cold hand right now belongs to the Kings, especially Mitch Richmond, who has missed his last 5 field goal opportunities. Spud Webb has nailed his second three-pointer of this first quarter.
He hit that one under pressure. Danny Young, he just went right up over him from behind the three-point line.
That's a 10-point lead now for the Sacramento Kings.
That's going to be a tough matchup right there for Anthony Bonner. He's matched up now against Charles Smith, and you know the Clippers will try to get Smith the ball as much as possible in that matchup.
They've gotten the ball good for 10 points in this first quarter, 27-19. Carswell got sandwiched between Manning and Polynice. And the foul is on Danny Manning, his first. There has not been one foul call yet against Sacramento. James Edwards, the Buddha, doesn't look right in that Clippers uniform, does he, after all those years in Detroit?
It looks a lot different. But he has been
he's a key on this club, yes.
He comes off the bench. He can give him a lot of scoring at that center position. He can also play the power forward spot if need be.
Carswell has 66% free throw. One of these teams real good at the line. There's that number we were talking about before, the block shot category, where Caldwell ranks very high. And as Jack mentioned earlier, that is really his key role on this club.
Well, the thing is, he understands what his role is, and I think that is the one thing above everything else that has held the Clippers back. They've had a hard time finding out who their role was, what their role is with their team. While the Sacramento team, you have guys that have accepted the role like Caldwell and understands that he has to block shots, play defense, and get his offense off the boards because he won't be involved in the play in the initial flow of the offense.
And his effort to play defense there results in the first whistle against the Kings tonight. Danny Manning at the line. Only 2 points in his first quarter for Manning. He's only 68% from the line this year, but he's having a good month of January, as you can see, averaging close to 18 points a game for the season. He hits 1 of 2. He has 3 in this first quarter, and it's an 8-point Kings lead.
You try to look for reasons why teams lose close ball games or lose in general, and if you don't do the little things like make your free throws, neither one of these teams great from the free throw line, you're going to lose a lot of close ball games.
Hobson has checked into the Kings lineup. That first effort by him wouldn't go. He tried for the steal there from Ron Harper. Now Webb picks Harper up along the baseline. Back out to Edwards.
Well, they'll get Harper the ball against Spud Webb, I would assume.
Well, the opportunity was there to do that, but they didn't get the ball to him.
Did not take advantage of it.
They're down to 5 seconds left now on the shot clock. Danny Manning could not handle the pass from Ken Norman.
Well, a lot of second guessing right now by the Clippers on
They look
offense.
very indecisive, don't they? Spud Webb got a hand on that one.
Yeah, they just don't look real comfortable in what they're doing right now. There seemed to be a lot of confusion when the Clippers have the ball on the offensive end. They didn't practice a whole lot this week, although they did have a week off. Not a lot of practice time. Schuler felt they needed some time off.
We've got a little over 33 seconds to go in the first quarter. The ball belongs to the Clippers. A little conversation, an interesting one on the far side. They were talking about the level of the music being played here at ARCO Arena. A little bit too loud for the officials' liking. Manning had his shot stuffed there.
What a defensive play. Lionel Simmons.
He was having himself a good first quarter on both ends of the court. 9 points and a couple of great defensive efforts as well. And now the Kings can play for the final shot of this first quarter, up by 8. Webb working against Young. And he's tripped up by Danny Young. Will be called for his first. Young, who was let go by Portland, signed by the Clippers.
He came over at a key time because Doc Rivers was injured when they picked him up. He immediately had to come in and start for this team. He started 4 of the 8 games, including tonight, that he has played. He hasn't scored many points. Of course, he won't give you that, but he will give you a guy that can play defense, and he does a good job of running the team.
We've watched Spud Webb since he first came into the league with the Atlanta Hawks, and we can tell you one thing. He has really improved his outside game. He didn't have really an outside shot to speak of at all when he first came out of North Carolina State. He was taking advantage of his speed, but he has really improved that asset of his game. And that takes care of quarter number 1. The Sacramento Kings, playing before the home folks, are doing it to the LA Clippers. It's 29-20, Kings by 9 after 1.
You consider something I want. St. Thomas to Saba Island. My own Grumman Mallard. Call it Dave's Airways. That's what I want for my investments. Now, how do we do it?
You can get there from here with Shearson Lehman Brothers.
From Hollywood Pictures.
We need help.
Don't you presume to tell me how to follow up.
Sean Connery is a doctor determined to make a difference.
I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost.
This is the cure for cancer.
Haven't you ever lost anything? Your purse, your car keys?
On the trail of an amazing discovery, he found an explosive adventure.
Extraordinary battle of the Civil War. Ironclads. Saturday on TNT.
Kings up by 9, quarter number 2 about to begin. We talked earlier, Jack, about this being a key stretch for the LA Clippers. Also a key stretch for Mike Schuler. A lot of rumors circulating around the LA Clippers about their head coach.
Yeah, I think this game and then the next 2 games will really show a lot about this guy right here. Tell us a lot about whether or not he will be there much longer in Los Angeles with the Clippers. I think they need to win at least 2 of these 3 and maybe all 3 for him to be around.
Quarter number 2 is underway. Gary Grant is checked in, gets it down to James Edwards. That's an unstoppable shot that he has.
Well, he's so long anyway, and then he has that ability to fall away. He ends up under the basket, and by the time he lets it go, it's about an 18-foot jump shot without a dribble.
29-22, Kings by 7. Tisdale takes it into the paint against Edwards. And call the offensive foul on Tisdale.
And I think that's a good call. The crowd doesn't like it. Tisdale also not real happy with it, but he does use the arm to push Edwards off as he took the ball to the basket.
So it'll be Clippers ball. They can get back here to within 7.
Kings very, very small right now. Pete Chilcott, because of his good play here over the last couple of weeks, has moved into the backup center role, taking the time away from.
There's a steal by Hobson. Hobson takes it all the way to the paint, lost it on the way up. And the Clippers have a 3-on-1 break here. Grant off to Norman. Norman couldn't handle it. But Danny Young saved it as it came back in.
Missed opportunity there, and they settle for a 3-point shot, but Grant gets it to go.
It wasn't exactly the way that was supposed to work, but it worked out just fine for the Clippers. 29-24. They have whittled that Sacramento lead now down to 5.
I think the guy that needs to get going right there is the guy handling the ball, Mitch Richmond.
Tisdale with Smith on him outside. Anthony Bonner over Norman. Bonner shot a little strong. Hobson, the putback wouldn't go. The tip by Chilcott wouldn't go. 4th time a good time for Wayman Tisdale, his 8th point.
Well, the offensive board work has been a factor in this game all night long for the Sacramento Kings. They've been able to get there, get second chance points. The Clippers have not been able to do that.
It's the 4th basket they've gotten an offensive rebound in this ballgame. 31-25. Kings up by 6. Danny Young into the paint. Got the shot away, but couldn't get it to fall.
Anthony Bonner will eat up some rebounds.
Richmond going wall to wall. Yes.
Well, when you're struggling from the outside, those close baskets is a way to definitely get your confidence up, and Mitch Richmond took that one right to the hole.
Richmond now at 4, 33-25. Richmond pulls away the rebound after the miss by Norman.
You got Richmond now playing the point guard spot. That's hard.
That shot a little strong by Bonner. Rebound pulled away by James Edwards.
Bonner trying to improve his 15 to 18-foot jump shot. If he ever develops that, he'll be a pretty good player in this league.
Grant will take the shot over Hobson from out in 3-point territory. Wouldn't go. Ball out of bounds. Who does it belong to? They say it is still Clippers ball.
I just don't like right now what I see from the Clippers offensively. They are relying totally on the outside jump shots. Nothing coming right now easy for the Clippers.
Dwayne Shinsis in to replace Pete Chilcott. Shinsis hasn't got a lot of playing time lately. Got a hand on that ball. Still belongs to the Clippers. James Edwards thought he got fouled there.
You're looking at Dwayne Shinsis right there. They still hold a lot of promise in this guy. He's young. He's still developing. They just feel they have to get more as a backup center from him. Rebounding, points-wise, they just need more.
They're going to try him on James Edwards. See if he's able to stop that shot. He can't. In fact, John Hammond, assistant coach for the Clippers, say the most effective player he has seen ever against Edwards, and about the only player he has seen who can effectively defend that shot is Patrick Ewing.
Well, there's been a lot better players than Shinsis. They're still trying to figure out a way to keep him from making that shot.
Clippers are back to within 6, closing in on the 9-minute mark in quarter number 2.
Hobson coming off his best game as a Clipper. Offensive foul, I thought.
Did he beat the clock? No. The 24 seconds had expired. And the turnover gives it back to the Clippers.
Hobson had 23 points against the Utah Jazz the last time out for these Clippers. Got a lot of playing time in that game, and that's the kind of offensive production obviously they'd like to have from him as the number 2 guard coming off the bench.
LA trying to get back to within 4 here. Grant looking into Edwards. And Doc Rivers may be done for the night. In the background, you see him heading back toward the locker room. That hamstring may have acted up again on Doc Rivers, and that was one of the fears that the Clippers had about. That's a tough injury. Once you get that injury, it's so easy to re-injure it.
Well, the real problem with that injury and with Doc just trying to come back is once you sit on that bench, especially in a building that's kind of cool, it's going to tighten up. He might be going back and they're going to stretch him out to make sure he's ready to start the second half. But still a lot of time here. He thought he would get to play a few more minutes.
It'll still be LA's ball. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. 33-27. Kings up by 6. But LA playing much better in this second quarter, and one reason why that guy, James Edwards, who was in 3 of those in this quarter. And it's now a 4-point lead for the Kings.
Tough shot, tough shot.
And way off the mark. Richmond glaring at the officials as he goes back on defense. He thought he got fouled. Grant going coast to coast. Gary Grant's now got 5 points in this quarter, and now the Sacramento Kings are going to have to call a timeout with 8:04 to go in quarter number 2, and their lead is just a 2-point lead now. 33-31 Kings.
Malone.
Oh, they lost him.
Cutting Malone.
Lost him. Suns are very lucky.
Yeah, they got a break there. Suns throwing away, but Hornacek gets it back. 2 seconds. Jeff driving and scoring at the horn. Hornacek puts it in at the end of 3. Jazz 81.
Cotton Fitzsimmons liking that play. However, Utah coach Jerry Sloan like you watching on television because he was ejected in the game earlier. Let's go back to Pete Van Wieren and Jack Gibbons.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Welcome back to ARCO Arena. 36-33. Lionel Simmons just completed a 3-point play, made the basket, hit the foul after being fouled by Harper, who takes the outside jumper and nails it. Ron Harper shooting only 38% from the field on the season, but he's at 3 tonight from out there. 7 points. That's 36-35. Richmond got hammered on the way up, and he earns a trip to the free throw line.
I think Harper is at his best, though, when he spots up, comes off the screen, spots up as he did that time, and shoots the shot. So many times he feels he has to put the ball on the floor and try to create something. He's a good standing jump shooter.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, Jack Givens and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. And Mitch Richmond at the free throw line misses his first effort.
Yeah, so much of this game is confidence, and right now,
and you can tell he's not playing with much.
He's just not sure of himself offensively, and this is a guy that averages up above 22 points a game. So until he gets his mental attitude back to where it was, he's going to continue to struggle on the offensive end of the floor.
Next time the Kings have the ball, we'll give you an idea just how deep the shooting slump has been for Mitch Richmond. This is Gary Grant from outside. They're beginning to nail some of those outside shots now. Grant has 7, and we are tied at 37. Mitch Richmond shooting 46% from the field for the season, but in his last 15 games shooting only 39%. So he was up about 50% before this month of January came along.
Well, he's got
to get him going.
Yeah, he's got to get shots like that. I mean, the shots are not going from the outside, so he has to get closer to the basket, either in the early offense or by creating as he did that time. He does a real good job here of drawing the defense out with the little pump fake right here, then puts it on the floor, goes right by Harper, draws the foul, good concentration, and gets that one to go.
James Edwards called for his first.
See what he has done in January. That is subpar, so very subpar for this guy. Doc Rivers did come back out of the dressing room. He's back on the bench, so we might see him the last 3-4 minutes of the second period.
That's a big plus for the Clippers because Doc Rivers is very, very important to their club, both defensively and offensively.
Yeah, he supplies them with such an emotional lift. This guy can come in and he takes total control of the team. And with a young ball club, you need someone that can bring that kind of leadership.
40-37, Sacramento up by 3, closing in on the midway mark in quarter number 2. Tisdale draws the double team, gets it back to Richmond. He'll go through the paint, off the glass for 2 more. He's starting to do that more and more now, Jack.
Yeah, I think that is important, and he feels he can put the ball on the floor against Ron Harper. He's been able to get to the basket two times in a row.
The lead back to 5. Harper hitting another one. He now has 9 in this first half. Back to a 3-point game.
Another example of what I'm talking about with Harper right there. Came off the screen and just shot the jump shot.
Simmons stumbling. Boswell works on Edwards. That wouldn't go, and we get a whistle and a foul call against the Clippers. James Edwards not real happy with that.
Well, I think what Edwards did, he got Coswell in the lower back before he took the shot, and he had to call that one.
And at the line will be Dwayne Coswell, and here does come Doc Rivers back into the lineup. As you look at some other scores from tonight's NBA action, a couple games in overtime tonight. We almost had one in the first half of our doubleheader in Milwaukee.
What a comeback by the Celtics. I mean, I thought that game was over a long time ago, but they had an opportunity to tie the ball game.
Coswell now 1 for 3 from the line. Dwayne Coswell, second year out of Temple. 7 points, 7 rebounds a game. Just under 3 blocked shots a game.
Well, I like his improvement on both ends of the floor, but especially on the offensive end. He first came into the league, they would run the ball as far away from him as possible, but now, as they did that time, they will give him an opportunity to post up.
Well, now the Clippers a chance to get right back in it, down by 3. Edwards threw an elbow to Coswell, no whistle. Spud Webb with the steal and the basket.
The quickness right there is amazing when you talk about Spud Webb.
44-39, Kings up by 5 with about 5 minutes to go in this first half.
Now, I don't know how many steps Spud Webb took when he picked that ball off before he put the ball down on the
floor. He took 3 steps for every one that James Edwards took.
Yeah, well, he covered a lot of space before that first dribble went down.
Well, they had a big mismatch there with Smith on Webb. Got the ball over to Norman. Norman just did beat the buzzer. He has 4, and it's 44-41. Rivers on Webb. From the top of the circle, Simmons' jumper comes up short. Rebound comes up deep. They get it right back to Lionel Simmons. Off the glass for 2 more.
Well, you just can't keep giving up the second chance opportunities. It seems the Kings are scoring every time they've gotten an offensive rebound.
It's the 11th layup made in this first half by the Kings. 46-41.
A lot of those layups came in the quick offense.
Norman trying to answer on the other end. He thought he got fouled. No whistle, though. Ball comes back to Sacramento. Over comes Lionel Simmons. Jumper over Smith. No. Rebound Harper. 4 minutes to go first half, 46-41. Sacramento up by 5. Harper going wall to wall, runs into Richmond. Richmond's going to be called for the foul. And that'll be his first.
Well, it's great anticipation on this play by Spud Webb. Look how far he comes. And you saw right there, that's why I said I don't know how many steps he took before he put the dribble down. He is so quick doing the open floor. No chance.
You're looking to pass the ball to Charles Smith. You may not see Spud sneaking in there. It's about a foot difference in size. Norman shot, no. Richmond the rebound. Clippers beginning to cool off now after coming back. And Sacramento beginning to pull away again. If Richmond gets that shot going, look out. He now has 10 points in the quarter, 12 in the game. The lead up to 7. And the Clippers take a timeout.
Well, he made a couple quick layups. Now he has the confidence to pull up and shoot the jumper.
NBA action has always been fantastic.
We invite you to stay tuned. Next week, 8 o'clock Eastern time, I'll join Hubie Brown at the Boston. Free throw line.
Well, he has such good anticipation, and because of his quickness, he can cover a long distance in a very short time. Now,
Second foul call against Harper.
Once again, he just anticipates the pass. Not a real good pass by Harper that time, and the quickness gets him to the free throw line.
You can see the numbers up. Tisdale called for his second. Our Prudential halftime report tonight has all the scores and highlights from tonight's earlier action, featuring highlights of the Bulls, Mavericks, Suns, Jazz, Hawks, Pacers, a recap of the Bucks, Celtics. Greg Segner will have our Prudential halftime report.
Kane Norman seems to be filling it offensively, although he settles for a shot. He probably could have gotten a better one, but one of the few times the Clippers have been able to get to the offensive boards.
And it pays off at 2 points for Ron Harper, who now has 11 points in the first half. Kings up now by 7. Tisdale, that low post game he loves so much, came up short, got his own rebound, puts it back up and in.
Great second effort, and just as I talk about the offensive rebounds, the Kings once again able to cash in right there.
That is 6 baskets scored after offensive rebounds in this first half. by the Kings. Holden Polynice getting his first 2 of the night. But it's still a 7-point Kings lead. And Spud Webb walks the ball down for the Kings this time, picked up by Rivers as he gets to the top of the 3-point circle.
Don't see him do that very often.
And the whistles coming a little bit more frequently now. This one on Holden Polynice, his second.
Well, I can't believe how easily the Kings are getting the ball. Passes in, gives Tisdale, Simmons, Caldwell, straight pass to the basket.
And Wayman Tisdale at the line. He has 10 points, now 11 in this first half, a 76% free throw shooter. This guy's always been a good offensive player, averaging 16 points a game this year in his 7th year in the league out of the University of Oklahoma. Holden Polynice the rebound. Doc Rivers will bring it down for the Clippers. And it comes to Danny Manning. Manning over Simmons, and Simmons got him.
Simmons is forcing Manning to change up a lot of his shots down there. Manning, though, with those long arms and the fact that he is so creative offensively down on the low block, still is able to get to the free throw line on this play.
Manning with only 3 points so far in this first half. He's 1 for 2 from the free throw line. You can see the Clippers have not made many trips here tonight.
Well, the Clippers have relied heavily on their outside shooting. They haven't taken the ball to the basket very aggressively.
Whereas the Kings have.
Yeah. Whereas the Kings have been able to do that, and you might see the Clippers try to do that more.
Manning makes them both. He has 5 now in the first half, 53-47, with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Down low to Simmons. Out to Mitch Richmond. This has been working for Mitch Richmond this entire quarter. Not that time, and no whistle. Tisdale, another offensive rebound, another basket.
We hate to keep beating the dead horse right here, but that's
the story of this game in this first half. It's been the offensive board work and the putbacks of the Sacramento Kings. 14 of their points in this first half have come on offensive rebounds and putbacks. Rebound pulled away this time on the defensive board by Mitch Richmond. And a 55-47 Kings lead can go back to double figures. Spud Webb couldn't hit the jumper. Rebound off the floor. Harper up with it for the Clippers. Ron Harper spins into the paint, and it tipped away by Tisdale. Spud Webb in front of Danny Manning. Top the basket, and Spud Webb, who got fouled from behind, a trip to the free throw line. That's always dangerous to watch, isn't it?
Well, it is, and fortunately, Spud bounces up very quickly there, making this shot and drawing the foul makes it a little bit easier to get up, but a good defensive trip down the floor this time for the Sacramento Kings, and you give Spud Webb this much advantage, you're going to get to the basket. It surprises you, his jumping ability. Danny Manning, with those long arms and ability to get up himself, doesn't even come close to blocking that shot.
Well, even though he's only 5'7", you'll recall one year Spud Webb won that slam dunk contest on NBA All-Star Weekend.
Spud taking a little bit more time getting to the free throw line, maybe hurting just a little bit more than we thought.
He has 13 points in this first half, plus an excellent defensive half for Anthony Spud Webb, now in his 7th year in the league out of North Carolina State. A 14-point performance so far by Webb. 58-47. The Kings have built that lead back up to 11.
Well, I know the Clippers feel they have to get Danny Manning going.
Blocked by Coswell. His second block of the half. Richmond off to Webb. Kings on the run. Back out to Mitch Richmond. His jumper a little strong. Rebound Holden Polynice. Under a minute to go now.
That was a trip right there that this crowd could get involved in the game even more.
Harper trying a three-pointer. Another outside miss by the Clippers.
What a rebound that was.
And we'll get a 20-second timeout. Taken here by the Sacramento Kings, who had a lead in double figures. Lost it in the early minutes of the second quarter. Now build it back up to 11, 58-47. It's been the inside game and the rebounding, offensively especially, that has done it.
Well, it has, and I think we also need to talk about the defensive effort, especially when you talk about Spud Webb, the fact that he has been a nuisance to the Clippers offensively. He has been able to pick off passes, and they've been able to get a lot of stuff in the open floor.
And one thing we should point out here, 58 points. A lot of points to score and a half for a team like Sacramento. They have not gotten a single point off their bench All 58 of their points have come from their starting unit. Lionel Simmons has 14. Wayman Tisdale has 13. Dwayne Coswell has 5. Mitch Richmond has 14. And Spud Webb has 14.
Well, playing in this building, the starters can be that effective. I think when they get on the road, they will have to get better contributions from those guys sitting over there right now.
On the shot clock, 10 seconds now remain. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Webb dishing it out to Richmond. He'll take it over Harper. Wouldn't go. He just did beat the buzzer. Battle for the rebound, and we're going to get a loose ball foul called underneath. Coswell.
Yeah,
It'll be a second.
Over the back that time, but that's the way the Kings have been playing. I mean, you just know they're going to try to go to the offensive boards. They've been successful doing that the entire game. They've gotten a lot of points right there, especially Coswell. He's been effective on the offensive glass.
At the line, Olden Polynice, only a 63% free throw shooter. Came over in that Benoit Benjamin deal. He's averaging just under 10. You see, he has 8 rebounds. He's been one of the few effective rebounders for the Clippers in this first half.
Now, the real thing when you talk about Polynice, he was originally drafted by the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls traded him to Seattle and got Scottie Pippen, and what a move that has proven to be.
I think the Bulls would make that trade again.
Anytime you want to talk about that deal, they'll do it.
Olden Polynice with his second effort. 58-48. 58-49. And we'll see if the Kings can cash in here in the closing seconds of the first half. Right behind the back pass to Lionel Simmons for 2 more. He has 16. That lead up to 11. Grant launching one from midcourt. It won't even come close. And the Sacramento Kings putting on a show for the home crowd here at ARCO Arena. At the half, Sacramento 60. The Los Angeles Clippers 49. Our Prudential halftime report with Craig Saber coming your way next.
Tonight's game is...
It's halftime at the ARCO Arena where the Sacramento Kings lead the LA Clippers by 11. Hello again, I'm Craig Sager. Although in different divisions, a strong rivalry exists between Phoenix and Utah. The Suns eliminated the Jazz 2 years ago in the playoffs. Utah returned the favor last season. Utah leads the Midwest Division by 2 games going into tonight. 2 games up on San Antonio. Kevin Johnson for Phoenix with a great pass to Mark West for the layup. Phoenix takes the lead. Meanwhile, Blue Edwards gets the steal. Goes uncontested for the layup. But then Tom Chambers grabs Karl Malone. Jerry Sloan thinks that Chambers should be called for a flagrant foul. Instead, Jerry Sloan gets ejected for complaining. And Jeff Malone with a great shot from the baseline. It's a close one, 95-94, that game in the 4th quarter. Chicago and Dallas. Former Dallas Cowboys coach Tom Landry on the sidelines without that customary top hat.
Way for change. Just feel me. Look.
Isolino with a great pass to Terry Davis. Dallas stays close until Scottie Pippen finds Michael Jordan. And then Michael Jordan loses the dribble. You don't see that often, but hey, he comes up with it. Another great layup. And Chicago defeats Dallas 107-92, snapping the Chicago Bulls' 2-game losing streak. The Hawks and Pacers. The Pacers with a big lead by 15 at halftime, 6 for 6 from three-point range, this one by Reggie Miller. But the Hawks came back in the second half. Kevin Willis hit a pair of three-pointers, sent the game at overtime. But in the OT, Indianapolis, the Pacers outscoring the Hawks 16-7. Indiana wins it easily, 115-106. Tonight, the New York Knicks were taking on the Washington Bullets. Pat Riley and his Knicks have now won 5 in a row. Mark Jackson, Anthony Mason, the missed shot. But it goes to Gerald Wilkins for the jumper. And New York hands Washington its 8th consecutive loss. So Boston needing a win in Milwaukee tonight to stay within a half game of the Knicks. It was the first half of our doubleheader. And it was youth in the stands, age on the court. Moses Malone drives in over Joe Klein, misses the shot. But watch Alvin Robinson out of nowhere and jams it in. Then Jeff Grayer with a steal. Over to Moses Malone for the dunk. Sherman Douglas, the new addition for the Celtics, fights his way between 2 defenders. Gets it to Joe Klein. He puts in 2. And Jay Humphries to Dale Ellis to Moses Malone, the veteran. 25 points, 11 rebounds. Milwaukee snaps a 5-game losing streak. And after the game, Hubie Brown talked to Jay Humphries.
All the games that we've lost in this stretch, we've been up 10 or whatever, and coming down in the fourth quarter, we end up finding a way to lose. And that's what's so frustrating, because in the past, all the Milwaukee Buck teams knew how to win when it came down to the stretch of the game.
Our next telecast Wednesday night, Hakeem Olajuwon against Robert Parrish. It is Houston's only appearance in Boston Garden. A busy week with All-Star Friday night and the Stay in School Jam Saturday afternoon here on TNT. Then it's All-Star Saturday night, the Schick Legends Classic, the American Airlines ITT Shirt and Shootout, and the Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship. And right around the corner, the Winter Olympics from Albertville. We'll have weekday coverage in the afternoons right here on TNT.
In a world of constant change, there is one certainty: the financial strength of the rock, the Prudential, rock solid.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Out here, if you don't have a Die-Hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die-Hard, more power when you need it most.
Who's gonna back it better than Sears?
Alka-Seltzer's Laws of Indigestion, law number 12. The fewer people you know at a party, the more attached you become to the buffet table. For indigestion with headache, you need Alka-Seltzer, because there's no law against fast relief.
Kevin Johnson drives the right side for the Suns. Nowhere to go. Punch it back outside to Tom Chambers. 20-footer on the way. It goes!
This week in the NBA, beginning Sunday, 11:30 Eastern on CNN.
The bigger they are, the harder they jam. The NBA's best. Look back, look sharp, and look to the sky. All-Star Saturday, February 8th on TNT.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Better.
What could be better than a Best Buy price? A better Best Buy price. So this Friday and Saturday, Best Buy is putting everything on sale. And we brought in Bob to make every Best Buy better. But if you want a better Best Buy price, better get to Best Buy while everything is on sale. Because after Saturday, Bob will be marking our better Best Buy prices back.
Better. Better. Better.
When you're shopping for the best buys in carpet and area rugs, look no further than the Carpet Mill Store, Milwaukee's carpet department store. We offer not only the best inventory of first quality carpets, but also remnants, short rolls, and irregular mill trials, all at huge discounts and in the colors and styles you like. What's more, we offer 24-hour installation, along with standard and custom-made area rugs. So for the best in name brand merchandise at discounted prices, it's the Carpet Mill Store, 14th and Lincoln, Milwaukee's carpet department store.
Time for one more highlight before we go back to Sacramento. Look at the Miami-Detroit game. We mentioned Dennis Rodman, another great game on the boards with 24 rebounds. Bimbo Close right here, driving through 4 players, puts it up over Bill Lambier. Miami stayed close in the early going. But then in the second half, Isaiah Thomas takes it to Bimbo Coles. A three-point play, gets the basket and the free throw. Tiring out third quarter, John Sally to Orlando Woolridge. That was late in the third quarter. Then Isaiah Thomas, nice move. Right past Glenn Rice. 27 points for Isaiah. And Detroit with a victory, 109-98. Elsewhere, that game we were talking about earlier, Phoenix, Utah, all tied up now in the fourth quarter. We'll update that one in a few minutes for you. Elsewhere, it is New Jersey staying close to Portland, but Portland with a 4-point lead. And here's one, Denver and Golden State all tied 60 apiece. That is at the half. Now let's go back to Pete Van Weeren and Jack Givens. Sacramento leading the LA Clippers by 11.
Okay, thank you, Craig Sager. You know, Jack, the one thing that really surprised me in this first half, Sacramento, a team that gets really hammered on the boards most night. They get out-rebounded about 7 rebounds per game, but they have really won the inside battle tonight in the first half.
Well, and they've done a lot of that on the offensive end of the floor. They've been able to knock the ball around until they've gotten the points. You see the bench scoring, none for Sacramento. That's somewhat surprising, especially when you consider they do have the lead. But the second chance points have been a key. Only 6 free throws taken by the Clippers. They're doing most of the damage from the outside, relying on the jump shot. Sacramento with their penetration has been able to get to the boards, and the Kings with only 5 turnovers.
Here's what the Clippers have to do more of in the second half if they want to win this one.
Well, we haven't seen much of this. Fast break opportunities. Early offense that time leads to a basket by Charles Smith. He hasn't had the ball as much as I thought he would have it. Simmons, so, has been the guy for Sacramento. You see him right here. He draws the foul, gets the bucket to go, and he goes to the free throw line. Here completes the three-point play, and then Spud Webb. You can't really talk about the Sacramento Kings here in this first half without having him on a highlight. He's been everywhere, comes up with the steal, and then he does it in the open floor, gets the ball to Simmons for another of his many inside points.
Here are your scoring leaders for the Clippers. It's Ron Harper with 11 and Charles Smith with 10, the only men in double figures. As we mentioned, the only scorers for Sacramento have been the starters. And it's been a very balanced attack. Lionel Simmons with 16, Spud Webb 14, Wayman Tisdale has 13. Right behind him, Mitch Richmond with 12. And Dwayne Coswell has the other 5 points. Only the starters have scored. The Kings leading it 60-49. At halftime here at ARCO Arena, introduced to the crowd the USA boxing team and the Bulgarian boxing team. They'll be meeting here at ARCO Arena tomorrow. You'll be able to watch the matchup between Team USA and Bulgaria. Boxing featuring current world champion Eric Griffin tomorrow on TBS following Hawks basketball.
When the Hawks have to find a way to keep going without Dominic. What an injury. And
devastating blow to the team.
Oh, it really was. The Hawks have been playing so well, doing a good job this season. Now they have to find a way to come up with about 30 points a game. The Hawks losing tonight.
The Clippers are down by 11. They will have the ball as quarter number 3 gets underway. It's Polonese, Rivers, Harper, Smith, and Danny Manning on the court for the Clippers as quarter number 3 gets underway.
I look for them to try to get the ball inside. They start out going right there. They have to get some easy baskets, and they have to find a way to get to the free throw line. Shooting the jump shot will not be the way to do that.
Kings by 9. They've got Spud Webb, Mitch Richmond, Wayman Tisdale, Dwayne Coswell, and Lionel Simmons out on the court. And Coswell inside, couldn't get it to fall. Harper pulls away the rebound.
It's interesting, the first play out, the Kings go right to Coswell.
And you can see the Clippers must have gotten a talking to from Mike Schuler at halftime about attacking the basket a little bit more. Something they didn't do much of in the first half, and the Kings are going to call a quick timeout here. They want this to be a 20-second timeout, as Rex Hughes wants to get the word across to his men that there's a little bit of a change in the tactics on offense of the Clippers here in the second half.
Well, it's interesting. The first 2 baskets for the Clippers have come inside. They had only about 2 inside baskets, it seemed, in all of the first half of play. So obviously Mike Schuler wants his team to do a better job of looking for the big people down low.
60-53, a 7-point lead for Sacramento in the opening minute of quarter number 3. Rex Hughes, who really talk about a guy that paid his dues as an assistant coach and a scout for many years before getting this opportunity. And as you mentioned the first part of the game, Jack, he doesn't know how long this opportunity is going to last. He knows he's okay for the rest of this year, and he'd like to get a chance to do this full-time next year.
Well, he said the best thing about this situation is that he has another year on his contract. Mitch Richmond makes that shot. He said the best thing, he has another year. He's had to work from year to year for the last 10 years or so. Just the security of knowing he has a job next season, whether it's coaching or scouting, whatever it is, it's good.
Smith over Coswell, wouldn't go. Coswell the rebound. Gets it out to Lionel Simmons. Simmons spins into the paint, and the ball slapped away, but Wayman Tisdale comes up with it. Wouldn't go. The putback by Coswell.
Polynice might have knocked that down, but Coswell right there, and he has been around the offensive boards this entire game.
It is 64-53. The Kings doing most of their damage on the offensive glass. This is Ron Harper eluding his man and hitting the open jumper. He has 4 in the quarter, 15 on the night, 64-55.
Harper has been good tonight at pulling up and shooting the jump shot instead of trying to create to take the ball to the basket.
With this stretch of the schedule the Clippers have coming up, they'd really like to get him going again because his shooting has been off this year. There's a turnover. Harper coming up with a steal. 3-on-2 break. Harper's going to take it into the paint. And Lionel Simmons looking for a jump ball. Instead, he's going to have a foul called against him. That's his second.
Well, actually, Simmons ends up making a pretty good defensive effort right here. I think he initially was going to commit the foul to try to prevent the basket. Harper brought the ball right to him, and he tried to lock him up. He thinks he made a good defensive play there.
At the line, Ron Harper for a couple. Harper, a 75% free throw shooter. His first trip to the line tonight. This is one of the things the Clippers didn't do much of in the first half, is get to the line.
Well, and when you don't get to the line very often, you can't expect to make the free throws. Harper, a pretty decent free throw shooter, but you see what he has done from the field, just not shooting the ball well at all.
Second effort by Harper is good. He has 5 in the quarter, 16 in the game. Let's go right back to our studios now in Atlanta. Craig Sager has some bonus coverage for us. Craig?
Well, thank you, Pete. First of all, Utah needs 2 to tie, 3 to win. Kevin Johnson has just made 2 free throws to give the Phoenix Suns a 2-point lead. Just a few seconds remaining. Let's join George Allen and Joe Gilmartin.
Well, a lot of times in this situation, the guy that inbounds the ball will take the shot. Corbin looking. They better call timeout. He's got to call timeout, and he does. Suns had everything covered. This is a tough play. Yeah. We'll take a break, come right back. 4.7 seconds to go. Suns by 2.
And as you take a break, so will we. We'll go back to Sacramento. Pete Van Weeren and Jack Givens.
Okay, thank you, Craig. We've got 9:22 to go in the third. Danny Manning just got called for his 3rd personal. And with the Kings leading 64-56, it's their ball. Spud Webb had a big first half. In fact, all these starters did. This unit has performed very well tonight for Sacramento. Lionel Simmons into the paint, comes up short. Coswell trying to save it, lost it off his knee.
Simmons wanted the foul. They're trying to get Simmons to take the ball to the basket. They would like to get Manning out of there. Manning, with those long arms, a good defensive player.
Doc Rivers put back by Olden Polynice. And interesting that all the points scored by the Clippers, as Rivers has got maybe hurt that hamstring again. He did not come back down the other end of the court.
Well, they're going to take him out. He came up lame after laying that ball in the basket, got bumped.
Harper called for the foul, his 3rd.
He is still down the floor. They're going to get Grant into the game, and I think you'll see Doc Rivers go to the locker room right here. Boy, this is just what they were hoping would not happen. They need this guy. Here it is right here. He's going to get bumped taking the ball to the basket. Spud kind of gets him right there, and he goes up right from the time he exploded going to the basket. He knew that something was not right, and he's on his way back to the dressing room.
Right now, back to Atlanta. No, we're not going to go back to Atlanta now. We're going to stay here with 8:55 to go in the 3rd. 64-58. Doc Rivers heads for the locker room, accompanied by trainer Keith Jones. We talked at the outset of the game. Boy, coming back from a hamstring in any sport, so tough. It is so easy to re-injure.
Yeah, so often the only thing that can help that hamstring is staying off of it, and Doc Rivers is so valuable to this team. They're 18-12 when he's in the lineup, only 2-10 when he is out.
Tisdale's turnaround jumper wouldn't go. Danny Manning pulling away the rebound. Clippers down by 6 and get to within 4 this trip. They've been attacking much more inside. And they're continuing to play it that way. Charles Smith getting into the paint, drawing another foul. That is Coswell's 3rd. was quite obvious in the F-Jack what the Clippers had to do to get going in quarter number 3 and 4. And that's go more inside, try to get to the free throw line, try to score some easy baskets, and that certainly is their game plan here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, the Kings on the inside, not a real good defensive team. And you see it right there. The Clippers have been able to get the ball to the basket with real ease. I mean, they haven't had to work that hard to do that. I'm real surprised that they didn't do it more earlier in this game.
They just got 2 more easy ones from Danny Manning, who has 7 in the first half. Simmons underneath the Tisdale. Wayman Tisdale with 15. And it's back up to a 6-point lead for Sacramento, 66-60. Gary Grant, who replaced Doc Rivers, who has had to leave the game, maybe with a re-aggravation of that hamstring pull.
Yeah, I would think that that's what it was. He limped off the floor and was holding his groin area.
And once again, the Clippers attacking, and once again, they get a foul call against the Kings. Lionel Simmons called for his 3rd.
And they are getting to the free throw line with more regularity right now.
Well, they only got to the free throw line 6 times the entire first half. This will be free throw attempts number 3 and 4 of this 3rd quarter, so it's beginning to equalize there. 8 points for Manning. It is 66-61. Anthony Bonner back into the Sacramento lineup. Manning makes 1 of 2 right now. Back to Atlanta. Here's Craig Sager.
Well, thanks, Pete. This is where we last left you. Utah needing 2 to tie, 3 to win. The inbounds play. It goes to Karl Malone at the top of the key. Drives through the lane, but misses the shot. However, he gets the rebound, puts it up and in, sending the game into overtime. The 3rd game so far tonight. To go into OT, we'll have an update for you later. But now let's go back to Pete and Jack.
We are back live. Anthony Bonner, who just checked into the lineup for Sacramento, scores his first 2 points of the night. The first point scored by the Kings bench tonight, and they built that lead back up to 9, 70-61.
What we saw in that play, and it started when the Clippers were on the offensive end, a lot of what we saw in the first half. The jump shot coming from the outside, which led to the quick opportunity on the offensive end for the Kings.
Going to get a timeout called here by Sacramento. We've got 6:51 to go in quarter number 3, and the Kings owning a 9-point lead.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by GMC Truck, the strength of experience. And by Dutch Boy. Year after year, Dutch Boy paint is the look that gets the looks.
Secret that nobody knows. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you've got to have an ace in the hole.
Bud Light proudly presents George Strait.
At GMC Truck, our only business is trucks, and has been for over 80 years. A dedication to truck strengths and values to keep in mind. Because when you need to haul something, tow something, carry precious cargo, find new trails, or simply ride high and proud, there's nothing quite as strong as a truck. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. For the look that gets the looks year after year. You can see why it's worth more.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Want to remind you, the Winter Olympics on TNT begin Monday, February 10th. Join TNT for weekday coverage 1 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Albertville, France. That's the Winter Olympics on TNT.
It's amazing the Kings have been successful as successful as they have been in this game when you consider this is the first 2 points they've had off the bench. Anthony Bonner running the floor, getting the nice pass from Spud Webb.
And we just got the word that Doc Rivers will not be returning to the Clippers lineup tonight. That left hamstring acting up on him again. So they return after missing 4 games. Unfortunately, not working for Doc Rivers. Right now, Dennis Hobson in there in his place.
They need him for a lot of reasons. He gives them some confidence. He gives them some leadership at the point guard spot.
This is Mitch Richmond. And there's the steal by Gary Grant. Grant down to Harper. Harper's going to take it up. Wouldn't go. Polynice the rebound, the putback. Olin Polynice having a good game on the boards for the LA Clippers. 10 points tonight for Polynice. That's right at his season's average, and it's now a 7-point Sacramento lead.
Yeah, at least 6 of those points coming off the offensive glass.
Mitch Richmond into the paint. Did he travel? I think he did. Or do we get a foul before? Nope, we're going to get a foul call before.
Well, he kind of fumbled the ball as he got into the paint area, but Polynice got him across the arm.
That's the third on Polynice.
Harper right here tries to take it. Bonner did a good job running back and forced him to miss that. Polynice, though, with the putback.
Hobson working against Grant. Spins into the paint, off the glass for two. Dennis Hobson.
Well, they need
his first two.
Yeah, they need so badly for him to be consistent offensively.
And Gary Grant, who's got to get a few more minutes in the second half with Rivers now down. And to Smith, he draws a triple team off to Manning. Somebody's open. They find him. And draining the basket is Ron Harper.
Well, the double team coming down low. The Kings feel they have to do that to cut off the scoring opportunities by the Clippers in close. Good ball movement around the horn that time to lead to the three-point basket.
And good ball movement finds the open man, Dennis Hobson, but his shot wouldn't go. Another rebound, his 11th. Olin Polynice having a big night on the boards. Clippers can now get back to within 4. Harper over Coswell. Coswell forced him to change that shot. Might have gotten a piece of that ball.
Yeah, I think he did.
And the Kings on the run. That's Coswell losing it on the way up. Good D that time by Harper. A 4-on-3 break. Ron Harper couldn't finish. There's Polynice, his 13th board. Puts it back.
Where Harper is the last couple of times has taken what should be an easy opportunity and made it a lot tougher than it had to be. Fortunately, Polynice has been there to clean up the mess both times.
Clippers have evened up the rebounding count in this game. 72-68, a 4-point Kings lead, but things going a little tougher for the Kings in this third quarter. And a foul call against Ron Harper, his 4th.
Once again, Harper takes it, probably should have laid it in on that time, didn't have enough on it. Polynice working on his statistics right here, gets a couple offensive rebounds, and finally gets that one to go down.
Chilcutt is checked in, replacing Tisdale. The inbounds pass comes to Hobson.
Well, with this lineup on the floor for the Kings, you have to look at where the offense is going to come from. If it doesn't come right there, they're going to struggle offensively.
74-68. A 6-point lead, 4.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Charles Smith again drawing that triple team. And somebody got him under there, either Chilcutt or Richmond from behind. They're going to call it on Chilcutt, his first. Going to the line, Charles Smith, and while he does, let's take a look at tonight's GMC Truck scoreboard. We had some overtime battles tonight. Phoenix a winner in Utah, a big game in this Western Conference. They're in the third quarter now in Golden State. Tied up in Portland, another tight one with New Jersey playing much better of late.
They are playing good basketball, aren't they? New Jersey seems to have found everything that they've needed. The puzzle is finally starting to fit together.
That Seattle game important for the Clippers. Seattle's victory means the Clippers have to win this one to stay within a half game of the Sonics. Smith hits 1 of 2. He has 11 points, 74-69, 5-point lead with 4:20 to go. And Richmond works against Danny Young.
Now expect Mitch Richmond here to find a way to handle the ball more and try to find a way, they will right now, to get more scoring from him. You look at the other guys that the Kings have on the floor. Chilcutt, Coswell, Hobson, and Anthony Bonner. And those guys do not score a lot of points for this team.
That game in Utah, and it's closing seconds now. 113-108, Phoenix up in the overtime period. Hobson almost had the ball stolen by Grant. We get a whistle. And a foul call.
Foul number 23,
Gary Grant. Call for his first.
Well, the shot clock running down, and Grant kind of bells him out that time by pulling the arm of Hobson.
At the line, Dennis Hobson, who is a pretty well-traveled player for being in the league his 5th year. New Jersey, of course, for the first couple of years out of Ohio State. was simply unable to get his shooting percentage up to the liking of the Nets and moved over to the Chicago Bulls. Now over here to the Sacramento Kings.
And I think about when you talk about these three teams that he has spent the most time with, this is a team probably that needs him to play consistently the most. I mean, especially when you consider Chicago, they have so many weapons. Here they need the offensive production.
Underneath, it's Danny Manning. Right now, let's go back to Craig Sager. Some more bonus coverage coming up for you.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Here's the story. John Stockton has fouled out. Kevin Johnson has led the Phoenix Suns to a 2-point lead. It's a 2-point margin right now with 39 seconds. Let's go back now to Pete.
Charles Smith just picked up his third foul on a great move by Dennis Hobson. He goes back to the line again.
Well, that's just what I'm talking about. He's with the second unit that the Kings don't get a lot of scoring from. If he's not providing the point production, they're going to be wondering where they can get the offense from. That's why I think it's important for him to be consistent night in and night out.
Hobson completing the three-point play, gets that Kings lead back up to 8 with 3:40 remaining in this third quarter. And the whistle on the foul call is going to be against Pete Chilcutt, who's picked up in second.
Well, before the shot, so don't count that basket.
Number 32, Pete Chilcutt, the second. Kings in the middle.
Now, this is what you missed. Now, this is what I'm talking about in describing Hobson and his importance. Look how aggressively he takes the ball to the basket right here. Gets there, gets the foul. And those kinds of plays will make him a very valuable person with the team.
Clippers have had this happen to him a lot this year, really having a tough night of it at the free throw line. As a team, the Clippers shooting only 71% from the free throw line. That is low for the NBA.
Close ball games and the free throw percentage really magnified.
And 2 more misses there from Charles Smith, who's now 2 out of 4, but the slam back by Smith, giving him 14 points on the night and getting the Clippers back to within 6, 3:20.
Give Polynice credit. He kept it alive again.
Getting a hand on that ball, Charles Smith. The turnover. Polynice had it, lost it, got it back, and hands it off to the better ball handler, Danny Young. Down it comes to Danny Manning, who's been a fairly quiet performer so far tonight. Came up short that time. Smith pulls it away off the glass. And Charles Smith now with 16. Let's go back to Atlanta. Here's Craig Sager.
Thank you, Pete. It's all tied. 24 seconds left. Let's join George Allen and Joe Gilmartin.
9, 8 on the shot clock.
Chambers. Foul call. Chambers will go to the line. Mike Brown says, no way did I foul him. But Blaine Reichelt called the foul on Brown. His third. 11.3 seconds to go. You be the judge. Was he stationary? Tough angle there to see.
Yeah, we couldn't really tell.
But Chambers going to shoot 2 big free throws. Tom with 19. Only 4 in the second half and overtime. One more coming. We're still tied. They loved him when he played here at Utah.
Surprised the Jazz didn't take a timeout there.
Here they come. Final seconds. Jeff Malone almost lost it. To an open Delaney run. Got it! 2.5 seconds to go. Delaney run. His first points of the game.
Hey, wait a minute. We've got a half an hour left in this game yet. Don't go away, folks.
Boy, this is unbelievable.
Now, the Suns have called a timeout. The Suns, watch this now.
They come to a double team right here, and Rudd's open.
He picks it up wide open.
And he hits the bottom of the hole.
You know, I was a little bit surprised, George. It worked out well for them. I expected the Jazz to call timeout, but they did not. They came right back down the floor. Suns went to the double team, and he was all alone in the picture when he shot.
I give him credit. Here's a guy who sat on the bench most of the night. He comes in here and hits a big shot.
He lost his job, really, to Murdoch. But as I say, there's a ton of time left in this game. 2.5? 2.5? Oh, I thought there was 2.7. I'm sorry, George.
But remember, in New Jersey, the Suns had 3.9 seconds to get a shot off and they took the inbound pass and threw up a 3 and didn't get it. The Jazz lead by 1. They've really come back. They were down by 5 in this overtime.
Well, they made a couple of amazing comebacks. In the regulation, were they down by 7 at one stretch and came back from that? But we've talked about this before. Whichever team gets down, like right now the Suns are down. You can't count them out. Before, the Jazz were down. Came back and put the game into overtime. The good news right now is the game should be settled one way or the other here in this next 2.5 seconds, we think.
This crowd is going crazy. Over 19,000 packed in here. And their Jazz have come back to take a 1-point lead in overtime.
Okay, Dan Marley, let's see who inbounds the ball. I think Ed Neely is coming in to inbound the ball. Now, bear in mind that Neely can shoot. Neely's got range.
Neely, Chambers, Hornacek, Marley, and KJ. Eaton's going to contest the inbound pass.
He's going to make
smart move, but
try to make it as hard as he can.
2.5 seconds to go. Neely looking in. Timeout.
That's the highest I've ever seen Eaton jump. He must have jumped 3.5 inches.
Couldn't get it in. Neely called the timeout. Still 2.5 to go. And the Jazz up by 1. Tomorrow night.
So Delaney Rudd, the hero so far in the game only because John Stockton had fouled out. We'll be back to that game in just a moment, but we'll take a short break.
At GMC Truck, we've seen days like this for over 80 years. And have learned the value of a van that gives you the most room in its class. The added safety of 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. The traction of full-time all-wheel drive. And the feeling of security that can only come from a van that's built as strong as a truck. Safari from GMC Truck. More proof of the strength of experience.
1983 to 88, Jim Weiner, director of the county's Health and Human Services Department, cuts welfare rolls by 7,500 people before leaving. 1992, able-bodied people are again living on handouts.
Government should care for children, the elderly, and people with disabilities. But those who can work must be responsible. Take job training, take a job, or not take a welfare check. I cleaned up welfare once. I'll do it again.
Paid for by friends of Jim Weiner.
Quality, service, responsibility. That's what the powertrain specialists at Engine and Transmission Exchange promise. From a minor adjustment to a full transplant, they are the experts on doing it fast and doing it right. ETE remanufactures all engines and transmissions at their own state-of-the-art factory in Milwaukee. And they back their work with one of the strongest warranties in the business. Get the straight story on all your options. Call the powertrain specialists at Engine and Transmission Exchange. Now 3 locations.
Well, here's what happened. The 2 timeouts were called by Phoenix. They had the ball out of bounds. In it went to Jeff Hornacek. His shot was off the mark. So Utah was able to pull this game out despite being down by 5 points in the overtime period, despite losing Jerry Sloan, their coach, who was ejected, despite losing John Stockton to 6 fouls. Delaney Rudd getting his only action, his only basket, but it is the game winner. He comes in overtime, sinks the basket. Here's the last play. Phoenix with a chance to win. There's the pass from Ed Neely to Jeff Hornacek. Shoots it over Mark Eaton. Great defensive play by Eaton, who was also guarding Neely on the inbounds play. Utah able to win by 1. Now let's go back to Sacramento. Pete Van Weeren and Jack Givens.
We're back at ARCO Arena. We've got a timeout with 56.3 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. Kings over the Clippers, 81-77. As the Clippers have gone more to an inside attack here in this 3rd quarter. Pete Van Weeren, Jack Givens with you tonight from ARCO, a sold-out ARCO, as it is every time the Kings show up here. They get great support here in Sacramento. You just wonder how hard these tickets would be to get if this team is able to get things turned around, which they hope to do, and they might be. You know who they remind me of? They remind me a little bit of the New Jersey Nets about a year ago.
Right. Yeah, New Jersey finally has started to put it together and playing much better. And I look at this Sac team. They are young. They are going to get better. Maybe another draft or 2. They pick up a couple more players, and they are going to be a team that you really have to be concerned with out here in the Western Conference.
Play about to resume. It'll be Ken Norman inbounding the ball to Danny Young. Clippers trying to pull back to within 2. Hobson on Young. Manning inside. There's the inside attack again. He gets his own rebound, puts it back and in. Manning with 12 points now. It's back to a 2-point Kings lead.
You have to wonder about the difference in this Clippers team. They look like a total different ball club. In the first half, nothing coming inside, relying heavily on the outside jump shots.
And Richmond going wall to wall, dishing it off to Hobson for 2 off the glass. Dennis Hobson has all 7 of his points in this third quarter. Kings by 4. You see the time remaining. Got about a 7-second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. Shot clock down to 15. Shot clock down to 6. Norman takes it inside again. This time the shot wouldn't go, and Tisdale the rebound for the Kings. A near steal, and it is finally stolen. Young going to give it to Norman into the paint for 2 more.
A tough break that time for Sacramento, but the Clippers with the aggressive full-court defense that time came up with the loose ball.
83-81 is going to be launched from beyond the mid-stripe line by Tisdale, and almost went as the horn sounds, ending quarter number 3. So we've got us a ball game, 1 quarter to play, and the Clippers are back in it. It's 83-81. Sacramento in the lead with 1 quarter remaining.
Hollywood Pictures presents Sean Connery.
We need help.
Don't you presume to tell me how to follow up. A man determined to make a difference.
I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost it.
This is the cure for cancer.
I know. Now you move your road through here, and we've lost it. From John McTiernan, the director of Die Hard and The Hunt for Red October. Medicine Man, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, February 7th at a theater near you.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose. Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds.
Around 1900, GMC Truck built America's first gasoline-powered truck and went on to make trucks our only business. A heritage of trucks that, some say, worked a little harder, lasted a little longer. And that's still true today in a truck that gives you the most standard payload and the strongest resale of any full-size pickup. Sierra, from GMC Truck, more proof of the strength of experience.
They come together to compete. Every day, they challenge their limitations. Striving for excellence, they find what is special in sports and in themselves. Join the NBA in supporting all Olympic athletes. They're special.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Out here, if you don't have a Die Hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back it better than Sears?
Well, there's your score with the fourth quarter about to begin. Sacramento up by 2 over the Clippers. Jack Evans, I guess we can look for the Clippers to do what's worked here in the second half, stay with the inside attack. Kings have to go back to more of what they were doing in the first half, which was go inside, but they may be a little outmuscled right now by the Clippers.
Well, the thing that has been key for the Clippers is that they have taken the ball to the basket. Although they have missed some shots because they have their big people down there, they've been able to get to the offensive boards and they put those shots back in. We didn't see any of that at all in the first half of play.
And the Kings, as we mentioned in the first half, normally a team that has a lot of trouble with their game inside because they're not that big a club.
Yeah, even more reason why I'm surprised the Clippers didn't do a better job of that in the first half.
Well, here the Kings go back inside. That's going to pay off for Lionel Simmons. The foul call against Ken Norman is first. Correction, that's going to be against Manning is 4th.
Well, Polynesia's numbers, look at right there. 12 points and 17 rebounds.
And at the line, Lionel Simmons, 18 points in the night, 2 for 2 from the line.
Those 17 rebounds tie his season high.
And only 1 away from his career high. 84-81. Simmons, one of those between-sized guys. You almost call him a point forward. He handles the ball right in the Kings attack. He can dribble the ball. Good outside shooter, has an inside game. He can score, he can rebound. He can also pass the ball. And Danny Young, left uncovered, was able to go wall to wall for his first two of the night.
The Clippers just, the Kings just no help from the weak side at all. Didn't even see the ball coming.
Spud Webb takes a spill. They talk about a mismatch. There's James Edwards at 7-1, committing his third personal on Spud Webb, who is 5'7".
Watch Danny Young right there. Hobson doesn't even see him coming, has his back to the basket, and not able to get over there to help out. Yeah, I think it's important for Spud Webb to start pushing the ball down the floor as he did in the first half of play. So many baskets were created because of his ability to use his quickness and get the ball in the open floor.
Webb has hit his season average. He's right at 15 points now. 5 of 6 from the line. 86-83. Webb hits them both 87-83. In the opening minute of the fourth quarter, the Kings a 4-point lead.
Clippers really looking down low.
That has been all they have looked for in the second half. That time they couldn't cash in. Norman losing the offensive board. And Spud Webb will bring it down for Sacramento.
You look at the Clipper personnel, though, and that's exactly where the ball should be going.
Hobson takes it inside, tried to dish it off to Coswell. He might have been better off that time taking the shot.
Well, you know, he had one step, one dribble would have led to a 15-foot jump shot. Instead, he over-penetrated, got caught up in the air, and had to try to find something. Just not the play that they wanted from him that time.
That's one of those times when you penetrate, you get up in the air, and there's nowhere to go with it. And there's Danny Young walking the ball down for the Clippers.
Double team coming. The ball movement has been very good for the Clippers here when the double team has come from the Kings.
Danny Young has 4 points. And it's back to a 2-point game, 87-85. Sacramento by 2. Lionel Simmons comes up short. Rebound pulled away by Hobson. An offensive board and 2 more points. But then it's Hobson who has given the Kings some quality minutes off the bench in the second half.
Well, I like his activity down around the basket. He's been very effective.
Norman over Coswell. Nope. Rebound is out of bounds. Ball still belongs to the Clippers, who are trailing by 4.
2 guard on both teams. Harper here and then Hobson also. Both have been around the offensive boards.
They got some good production in the first half from James Edwards. He's back in there. Let's see if they start going to him. Try to capitalize on that almost unstoppable shot of his. There it is. But he had nowhere to go with it that time.
A lot of reaching right now by both teams, but the Kings in particular down low.
That's 4 on Coswell. And the Clippers will inbound it from the far side. 89-85. Sacramento up by 4.
Oh, there he is with that fall away.
You can't stop that shot. If he's got that shot going, there is virtually no way of stopping it.
I mean, it's amazing. He catches the ball in the paint and ends up shooting a 15-foot jump shot without putting the ball on the floor.
89-87, 2-point game again. We will not see Coswell take that shot or try to over Edwards.
But you know, they've gone to him more down low than they normally do.
But he has to take the inside move like that.
Yeah, he's been shooting a little jump hook, and it just hasn't been there. That time he squares up, takes it right to the basket.
And he got a hand on that one to break up the pass. Here's Spud Webb trying to bring the ball across the court. Almost lost it. Gets by Danny Young into the paint, dishing off underneath, but stolen by Ron Harper. And a little showtime here. Who's going to put the show on? Charles Smith.
Well, good unselfish play that time by Kenny Norman. Gave the ball up. Smith with the basket.
91-89, a 2-point Sacramento lead. Spud Webb again going all the way to the baseline.
You know, Spud had a chance to take that ball right to the basket. Should have taken the shot just like that.
As he drifts across the lane, Spud Webb scores his 18th point to get that lead back up to 4.
Well, the Clippers now pushing the ball down the floor themselves, trying to get some quick shots at the basket. There's the double team once again.
And we get a foul. Anthony Bonner picks up his first.
Now here's Coswell taking the ball to the basket. Once again, he's been coming across the middle, shooting a little hook. It hasn't gone this time. He squares up, takes the ball aggressively to the basket. Spud Webb also with some success in the paint at 5'7".
8:43 remaining in the game. Danny Young to Ron Harper with Hobson on him.
They'll clear it out, try to give Harper a chance to work.
And away from the ball, we get a whistle.
That's a big call right here. Coswell picks up his 5th personal foul. So what's going to have to happen now? The Clippers will probably go small. Actually, they're going to get Dwayne Shinsis into the game. That's a big move because Shinsis hasn't played a lot. He's not been effective as of late.
Out to Danny Young, who tries one and nails one from out in three-point land. He has 7 points all in his 4th quarter. It's a 1-point game now, 93-92. Kings up with 8:18 remaining. Lionel Simmons, 22 points on the night. And there's a turnover as the ball is stolen away by Lionel Simmons. Spud Webb takes it in too hard off the glass, gets it back, puts the jumper up now. Stormington sailing in, a big recovery and a big shot by Spud Webb. He has 20. Timeout Clippers. 7:54 to go on the night. Once again, the Kings have opened that lead back up to 5.
A luxury car says a lot about its owner.
Mine says I'm witty beyond belief.
Mine says I'm more Europeanish.
Mine says I'm the product of superior genes.
A luxury car says
I'm so successful I can go into debt.
I'm much more handsome. Cosmopolitan.
Another pathetic sheep following the herd.
Says a lot. I'm irresistible.
Powerful.
Stylish.
Sexy.
Dynamic.
The all-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. All it says is that you bought a great car and you can still pay your mortgage.
I'm scared.
Kidnapping him was easy.
We're only after the money. Nobody is going to hurt the boy.
I'll say they're not.
The hard part was letting him go. Sybil Shepherd, Memphis. Saturday on TNT.
2 impossible missions. One against an evil leader from Baghdad.
The people, those scum.
The other to defeat an evil magician. 2 perilous adventures. 2 Sinbad. Sunday morning at 10 on TNT.
For the look that gets the looks, use Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. It's the one finish every room should start with.
Dutch boy, he works hard for your money.
And here is tonight's Dutch Boy in the paint. Sacramento still up by 10. They're playing inside, but the big number here, it was a 16-8 Sacramento advantage at halftime on second chance points. That's where the Clippers have really picked it up here in the second half.
Olden Polynice a big key to the second chance points. Watch the defense here by Lionel Simmons. The quick hands, picks the ball off, and then Spud Webb. Watch how quickly he recovers after missing that shot. Knocks around. He's very alert. Does not step on the line and then pulls up and shoots a jump shot. Lead now 5. That's a big shot by Spud.
And now they've made the change with Coswell in foul trouble with 5. Dwayne Shinsis has checked in. They need some quality minutes from him here.
They really do. You know they're going to Edwards. You just know it's going to happen.
Smith will take the shot over Bonner. Wouldn't go. Rebound, James Edwards. He'll take that jumper and hit the jumper over Shinsis.
You know that is where the Clippers will go right now. It's very difficult for the top centers in the league to stop this move. You know he's going to try to attack Dwayne Shinsis.
Second foul of the night on Shinsis. Edwards a chance for the three-point play. Even though Olden Polynice starts for this club and has done a very good job tonight within one of his career-high rebounds. We'll see James Edwards on the court if it's a close game in the final minute. They like him out there because of the versatility of his offense.
Yeah, he's 5 of 5 from the field.
97-95 Kings by 2. 7:26 remaining. Here comes Wayman Tisdale back into the game. Dwayne Shinsis will sit down. Now they are going to go small.
Well, Dwayne Shinsis kind of gives Rick Hughes the eye as he leaves the bench. So that is the last time we'll see him in this game tonight. There's no question about that. I mean, that is one thing you don't need is the lip as you leave the game.
They're still talking. Tisdale trying to beat the buzzer, comes up short. 24-second violation. And the Clippers get the ball back, and this trip down, they can finally tie up this score. They've been getting closer and closer and closer. It seems like every time they get within 2, they fall back to 5 or 7 down. And they have to battle back again. This time they do have a shot at tying it up.
I think what you'll see Tisdale do here is try to push Edwards a little bit farther out than he likes to catch the ball.
That's exactly what they did. Tisdale, in fact, causing Edwards some problems.
Yeah, he kicked the ball, and it worked that time as Tisdale, with the push, forces Edwards out, and Edwards is really, really beefing at the official.
He thought he should have been at the free throw line.
And I think I agree with him also. Tisdale, though, using the big body, will try to push him just a little bit farther out.
And they're still doing some pushing and shoving underneath as they get down court. This is Anthony Bonner working on Norman. Somehow got that shot to fall. How do you make that shot fall with a guy like Ken Norman all over you?
Well, if he can give him any offense at all, I mean, that's a bonus. That turnaround jump shot is just a plus.
Once again, the Kings have opened up a 4-point lead. 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Norman off the glass, 2 more. He has 8.
Norman is very explosive. He's capable of putting up big numbers very quickly.
The lead 2 again. Richmond going up for the shot, and the ball stripped away. It's out of bounds. Harper got a hand on that ball for the Clippers, and once again the Clippers an opportunity to tie this score up. The last time this game was tied was way back in the first half at 37. And the Clippers have been edging closer and closer and closer, but they've not been able to tie it up since then. And they're not going to do it this time either. The turnover gives the ball to Mitch Richmond.
Mitch needs to make sure now he gets a good shot. That's a good one. It's Spud from the outside.
Short, though, and once again, an opportunity for the Clippers to tie it up here.
Well, you just know if you keep giving them the opportunities, eventually they're going to tie this game.
Harper walking the ball down as the shot clock now shows 10 seconds.
I look for Edwards to pick up the foul here.
He'll take it over Tisdale. Comes up short. I'll tell you what, Wayman Tisdale, despite giving away some size to James Edwards, has done the best job of anybody on Edwards.
Well, he's a very physical player. He understands that he has to put the body on James Edwards, and you see them laughing at each other right there. I still look for Edwards to pick up a foul in this matchup.
Wouldn't you love to hear that conversation right now with Edwards and Tisdale?
Well, they've been going at each other very aggressively.
It's good-natured right now. We'll see how long that lasts. And a timeout's going to be taken here by the Clippers. Spud Webb is going to have a technical foul called against him. Webb complained to Jack Nees. He thought Harper should have maybe gotten a traveling call when he skidded along. And a technical foul has been assessed now to Spud Webb.
Well, Harper, I think, got a floor burn on that arm as he slid along the floor right there.
So Webb draws the technical. Now we've got a timeout with 5:29 remaining.
Did you know the cost of 2 business calls from these San Diego pet stores to Dallas may surprise you?
Of course they're easy to feed.
With AT&T Long Distance, your small business can get the quality you trust at extremely competitive prices.
They really do make perfect pets.
Even though the other company would like you to believe, they always save you lots of money.
That's my big savings? That's it. Not exactly the catch of the day.
Competitive price, another AT&T advantage.
Excuse me, do you know what stock options are?
I wish I did.
The information you know you should know is in the Wall Street Journal's video guide to money and markets. This exclusive 30-minute video is free. When you call for 13 weeks of the journal for just $37, that's over 20% off the newsstand price.
Call toll-free 800-421-2000 for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and your free video on money and markets. That's 800-421-2000.
Look that gets the looks. Use Dutch Boy Satin Finish Paint. It's the one finish every room should start with.
Dutch Boy, he works hard for your money.
It's a busy night at NBA action. 12 games on the schedule tonight. Fred Hickman and Hannah Storm will have highlights of all of them with scores and highlights on the Inside the NBA program. Also a feature on Purvis Ellison and a look at the Phoenix Suns Charity Ball. That's all on Inside the NBA coming up next. Here's the technical foul game against Spud Webb, who wanted a travel call against Harper.
Well, travel or a backcourt violation. Now you see Harper sliding across. Now he calls the timeout. And watch Spud's reaction. And the technical foul.
And shooting the team will be Danny Young, who has scored 7 points all in this fourth quarter. He now has 8. It's a 1-point game.
Young coming into this game 3 for 3 from the free throw line, so he hadn't shot many, although he had made every one of them.
And now the LA Clippers, who have been trailing since the score was tied at 37 early in the second quarter. A chance now to grab the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, boy.
The offensive foul is going to be overruled, I believe. We had one call going one way from Jack Nees. We had another call going the other way from Hugh Hollins.
Charles Smith laid right.
It's going to be on Anthony Bonner.
Yeah, away from the ball. Anthony Bonner picks up the foul.
Now, if you see Nees in this picture, he indicates that it's an offensive foul.
Well, I don't know exactly what Bonner did. It was hard to tell right there.
He was fairly away from that play.
Yeah, maybe he pushed Charles Smith into Spud Webb.
Tell you what, Jack, he doesn't know either.
Yeah, he's not sure what happened.
Well, Charles Smith at the line now can tie it up with this one. It's 99-98. Smith with 18 points. But he has struggled from the free throw line. He's now 2 out of 5 from the line, and the Clippers' free throw shooting, which has hurt them a lot this year, is hurting them again tonight.
Boy, should the Clippers go on to lose this game, we'll be talking missed opportunities by the Los Angeles Clippers.
They are now 11 of 17 from the line. That's under 70%.
Yeah, they've had 4 or 5 chances at least to tie the game up. Finally, they do from the free throw line.
Well, we'll see if the Kings can get it going again now. Lionel Simmons going into the paint, and he'll get a trip to the free throw line out of that as Norman got him. That's Norman's first. And the L train back to the line. Danny Manning checks back in for the Clippers. Smith sits down. Smith with 19 points on the night. At the line, Lionel Simmons, who has 21 points tonight.
Now that the Clippers have gone small, this will give Rex Hughes more opportunity to leave Coswell over there on the bench. Coswell with 5 fouls in this game. Just trying to ride out another minute or 2 before he comes back on the floor.
Really interesting to see that quickness of the decision by Rex Hughes after Shinsis went in and committed a quick foul to pull him right out of there and give Tisdale the responsibility of guarding Edwards, and it's been effective. Tisdale has done a good job.
Yeah, that proved to be a pretty good move right there. And Dwayne Shinsis reacted very negatively as he went to the basket. A lot of words being exchanged, and Shinsis has had a difficult time enough as it is finding a team that wanted him in this league, and by talking back is not going to make it any easier for him to hang on here.
This foul call came along the baseline. Mitch Richmond giving Danny Manning a pretty good shove. Richmond called for the foul, his third. Manning goes to the line. Manning with 12 points tonight. He too has missed a couple of free throws. He's 4 out of 6.
Gets a lot of rim on that one.
And once again, the Clippers can tie it up here if Manning makes this one. 13 points tonight for Danny Manning. He's averaging 17.5 points a game. He misses another one, and the Sacramento Kings cling to a 1-point lead. This is Spud Webb.
I think Mitch Richmond right now needs to get involved offensively. He hasn't touched the ball, hasn't been real successful from the field, but he needs to have it.
Well, they're trying to get it to him there. He almost lost it. Gets it back out to Spud Webb. Down to 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Down to 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Richmond's going to throw it to his coach. When you can't find an open player, you say help and you throw it to your coach, I guess.
Well, this is a time that you need a guy to step up and take over. That's why I said Richmond needs to handle the ball. He is a guy that is a point scorer. He and Lionel Simmons. Simmons has been guarded very well here in the second half. So Mitch Richmond has to pick.
Somewhere there was an open man. They had a double team on Richmond, but he just simply couldn't find it. And here's that Edwards-Tisdale matchup again with Bonner coming over to help out. Norman will get it over to Young. Young in the paint. That one extra pass to Harper. Harper couldn't get the shot to fall, but he'll go to the free throw line.
I like the unselfishness that I see right now from the Clippers. Good ball movement, doing a good job finding the open man.
At the line, Ron Harper, Anthony Bonner picking up his third foul. 101-100. Kings up by 1, and once again the Clippers, who have gotten to this position quite a few times in the last couple of minutes, but cannot hit those free throws. It's killing him.
It's amazing.
They have only hit 4 out of 7 free throws in this fourth quarter. They have only hit 12 out of 20 free throws in this game, and they still trail Sacramento by 1.
Making a sports car, it seems mandatory to mention how fast it can go. All right, with an overhead cam engine capable of producing 228 pounds of torque, the new Subaru SVX can reach speeds in excess of 140 miles per hour. But how important is that? With extended urban gridlock, gas at $1.38 a gallon, and highways full of patrolmen. Instead, why not mention the things you shouldn't mention about a sports car? A strong weld, an anti-lock braking system, the ability to carry 4 adults, all-wheel drive, engineering that endures. Still, if it's speed you want, we promise you'll be able to use most of the speedometer. Subaru, what to drive.
Dutch Boy paint is now on sale.
Dutch Boy paint is now on sale at Sears. Now Dutch Boy is available at Sears. Everyday low pricing as low as $9.99 a gallon for Dutch Boy Confident Interior Flat. See store for details.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Brad Hickman and Hannah Storm standing by inside the NBA right after tonight's game. A feature on Purvis Ellison. A look at the Phoenix Suns charity ball. And all the scores and highlights from tonight's action. Our next game from the NBA here on TNT Wednesday night from Boston Garden. Hakeem Olajuwon and the Chief, who is just an amazing, amazing player. To go as hard as he goes and as long as he goes at his age. We'll be featuring that matchup on Wednesday night.
Especially when you consider the injuries to that Celtics team. I mean, Robert Parrish has had to pick up a lot of the scoring when you talk about Larry Bird, Kevin McHale being out.
Well, we'll see if Harper can hit this one. It'll tie the game if he does. I'll tell you what, that's got to drive a coach nuts when you can't make your free throws. 12 of 22 from the line now for the LA Clippers. They are still down by 1.
You want to put yourself in position to win games, and if you don't make the free throws, it's very difficult to do.
Lionel Simmons, the L train on a big night here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
He has 26.
As I mentioned, you need someone to take over in close ball games down the stretch. That is what makes the good teams great. They have guys who can go through in key situations. Someone has to step up right now for both of these teams.
From just inside the three-point line, Danny Young couldn't get it to fall, and there's Lionel Simmons with a big rebound. Kings have built that lead back up to 3, and that has been the story in this second half. Yeah, Clippers get close, but they cannot quite catch him, and they cannot quite grab the lead.
They're trying to give Tisdale a chance to work against Edwards.
Somebody's open. Simmons from the top of the circle.
Now, the reason for that, giving the ball down low to Tisdale, is not necessarily because of Tisdale's scoring ability. It's because they know the double team's going to come, and someone has to be open. They're doing a good job of finding the open man.
And the Kings have built that lead back up to 5. Inside it comes to Danny Manning for 2. Manning has 15. 105, 102, 3 minutes to go.
See, watch here. Tisdale posting up down low against Edwards. Tisdale hasn't even looked at the basket yet. I mean, he's not trying to score. He's trying to draw the double team, and then he's going to kick to someone.
This time he will take the shot over Edwards. Wouldn't go. Danny Manning the rebound. Once again, the Clippers can pull back to within 1. Norman will take the baseline jumper and nail it over Simmons. 10 points for Ken Norman. It's another 1-point lead for the Kings. 105-104. 2.5 to go.
Isolation situations, that's what they've been doing.
They get the ball into Lionel Simmons. He has got Norman on it. Back out to Spud Webb. Back to Simmons. 5 seconds left to shoot it. Turnaround jumper from the baseline. Wouldn't go. The offensive board and the putback by Anthony Bonner. This team of Sacramento Kings, which has had so much trouble on the boards this year, having a good game on the boards tonight. They're up by 3 again, 2 minutes to go.
If Bonner's going to score, he has to do it just right there.
Well, the few times Sacramento has not rebounded anybody this year, 45-42, they have the edge over the Clippers right now in boards. And Danny Manning with a chance now for a three-point play as he gets his 17th point. Anthony Bonner picking up his 4th foul and a chance once again for the Clippers to tie it up.
73% from the field in the last 3 games is Danny Manning. Good down on the low block.
The Clippers just 12 of 22 from the free throw line. Another miss from the line. It remains a 1-point Sacramento lead. 12 of 23 now from the free throw line. Danny Manning, a 68% shooter, isn't even doing that tonight. He's only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8.
Horrible free throw shooter.
1:38 to go. Simmons had his shot blocked, but Tisdale comes up with it out near the sideline. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to have to hurry. Spud Webb draws the crowd, took the shot. The putback wouldn't go. The rebound pulled away by Danny Manning. Almost threw it away. Good save there by Young. The Clippers have not led this game since it was 3-2 in the opening couple of minutes. They can grab the lead here. And they're going to get a whistle. The basket doesn't count. The whistle came before the basket. Wayman Tisdale called for his 3rd.
Charles Smith comes up limping right here. You'll see him right here. Take the ball to the basket. Tisdale from the front gets him with the foul.
So once again, the Clippers will be going back to the free throw line. This time, Charles Smith. Like just about everybody else on the Clippers, he has had his troubles. Just 3 of 6 from the line tonight.
Smith started the season on the injury list. Arthroscopic surgery on his knee. You have to be concerned every time he comes up limping. And they miss another one.
Unbelievable. Here's an 80% free throw shooter, Charles Smith.
Oh, it gets loud in this building. Colony's checking in.
And the Clippers self-destructing at the foul line tonight. They're 12 of 24. They've got to make this one to stay above 50%. Forget 70%. Finally, one falls for Charles Smith. He now has 20 points. Tied at 107. Just over a minute to go.
I still think Richmond has to find a way to come up with some offense here. They need his production.
He has really been quiet in the second half. They go to him into the paint. There it is. Still going to tip to the free throw line.
Well, you know, that's just as good as getting you 2 points. He has been just not involved offensively. He struggled from the field in the first half of play, so he's been kind of reluctant to take the ball. I still think he must be the guy to put the ball in the basket from the guard spot.
Richmond has 19 points on the night. He has yet to score in this 4th quarter. Can give the Kings back the lead here. 107-107. 55.4 seconds remaining, and Richmond is at 20 for the night. You see Mike Schuler.
Well, I'm sure they will call a timeout should this free throw go in.
It does. And they do. 21 points for Mitch Richmond. A 2-point lead for the Sacramento Kings with just over 55 seconds remaining in the game. And Sacramento up by a couple.
Why are foreign films so foreign?
Perché domando perché?
Try Bud Dry. It's dry brew, not watered down. To drink light, yet satisfy completely. So at least refreshment speaks to everyone.
I feel good. What is self-esteem?
Self-esteem, to me, is believing in yourself. It's being proud of who you are.
Self-esteem is what you see in the mirror. If you see a bright student, then you can be a bright student.
I feel good.
You've got to have a high self-esteem, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you?
Take pride in yourself. Stay in school. It's your best move.
The The Sacramento Kings trying to hang on for dear life here in the final minute of play at ARCO Arena. We've got 55.4 seconds remaining. Pete Van Leeuwen and Jack Gibbons with you, and it's a 109-107 Kings lead. Kings still have 2 timeouts left. The Clippers have 1 full timeout. They still have the 20-second timeout remaining.
A lot of things can happen in 55 seconds, and the thing that must happen is the Clippers must go to the free throw line and find a way to get some success there. They've had a chance to definitely be well in control of this game, but they've struggled so badly from the free throw line.
And there you see the timeout situation with 55.4 seconds remaining. 109-107 Sacramento.
You see Rex Hughes right there, and this has been pretty much the case for him. Close ball games. His team trying to pull another one out down low.
Harper almost lost it. Down to Edwards. Smith. And Smith again in the paint. Wouldn't go. Gets the offensive ball. That shot was blocked by Coswell. Coswell, who is playing with 5 fouls, was able to block that one cleanly.
What a timely replacement that was by Rex Hughes.
His 4th block tonight.
Coswell had sat over there for at least 6 minutes. Finally put him back in the game.
7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Clippers turning it up a notch defensively. Down to 2 seconds left. Richmond trying to beat the clock. Just did. 8.1 seconds remaining. It's a 4-point lead for Sacramento. Jerry Reynolds likes what he's seeing. The frustration continues for the LA Clippers. Timeout.
Well, as I mentioned, it has to be your big gun to pick up things down the stretch in a close ball game. Mitch Richmond right here catches it. The shot clock running out, and he just creates a shot. He is a guy that has to produce. It's nice to see him step up and take charge.
Just before he released that shot, you could see Rex Hughes almost leaning right over the court saying, shoot it, we're out of time.
Well, you don't want to turn it over. You don't want to miss an opportunity to at least get a shot up at the basket. Boy, that's using the shot clock there a little bit more, a little bit better than Rex Harris would like for them to do.
So we are down to our last 8 seconds of play in this one. It's 111-107 Sacramento. Before a full house here at ARCO Arena. Fred Hickman had a storm. Coming up next inside the NBA. All the scores and highlights from the night. And this Sacramento team trying to go to 11-9 at home. We talked about this earlier today, Jack. There are different stages when you're trying to build a ball club that you get to. And Sacramento has reached that stage now. They're not a team that's going to lose most of their games home and away. They are the kind of team now that can beat just about anybody at home if they play as well as they can in front of the home folks. They have a lot of trouble on the road, though. They've only won 3 out of 24 away from here.
Yeah, you talk about building a ball club. The way to do that first is to win your home games. You want to make sure you're effective in your own building, and that's what they have done.
And now it will be the Clippers' ball. They're down by 4.
What a block that was by Coswell, though, that led to all of that.
Oh, that was maybe the key play of this final minute. They get it into Smith. Smith draws the triple team. What a block again by Coswell. Smith will put it home for 2. We have had 5 blocks tonight, 2 in this final minute by Dwayne Coswell. It's back to a 2-point game, 111-109. Under 2 seconds remaining now.
Well, Coswell, the thing that is important here is he went up there aggressively, playing with 5 fouls. And you know, the way you pick up the fouls is when you go about it in a lazy manner. He wasn't concerned about picking for 6. He went up with authority, knocked those 2 shots away. 2 big defensive plays down the stretch.
And now Spud Webb at the free throw line. He has 20 points tonight. He has 8 assists tonight. He is, however, missing that free throw to keep it a 2-point game, 111-109. That's his second miss from the line tonight. He's now 6 out of 8. And the Clippers are still alive. They are down by 3. They have called a 20-second timeout here to try to design a 3-point play with under 2 seconds remaining. And Rex Hughes will go to work on the defensive side of things as Mike Schuler talks over a final play to try to get the Clippers back in this one and send it to overtime.
Well, I think Schuler called the 22nd timeout because you'll probably see Rex Hughes call it full timeout after he sees how the Clippers will set up offensively. They'll try to see here what play they want. But you look at the three-point shooters on the floor now for the Clippers, and of course you have Harper who can put the ball down. Young is on the floor also, and Grant probably will check into the game as well.
So we'll have three guys out there capable of hitting that three-point shot.
Now, why are they not taking the ball out the floor? I guess
the Clippers tonight as a team 4 of 9 from three-point land.
Well, the 22nd timeout prevents them from taking it out at the half.
Into Young, he will launch one from beyond the midcourt stripe, and the frustration continues for the LA Clippers. They had their chances, but the Sacramento Kings able to hold on and beat the Clippers for the second time this year. 112-109. Sacramento wins it. Smiling Jerry Reynolds looking on as the Kings have beaten the Clippers. Back to our Atlanta studios now, and Craig Sager.
Well, thank you very much, Pete. It's not often you see Jerry Reynolds smiling, at least not this year. One of the busiest nights of the season, 24 teams in action, 3 of the 12 games going into overtime. Who do we select for our finishing touch? Michael Jordan. Now in his 8th season, we've seen Jordan do it all, but tonight, Hair Jordan pulled a rabbit out of his hat. He's not easy to guard, but the Dallas Mavericks do a great job of blocking the lane. But here he comes, off balance, no look, over the head, spinning off the backboard and in. Michael Jordan, tonight's finishing touch. And for all the scores and highlights, also the Hall of Fame electees, be sure to stay tuned for Inside the NBA with Fred Hickman and Hannah Storm right here on TNT. Pete and Jack will be back with our Budweiser Player of the Game in just a moment. Thanks for being with us.
When she was 7, she discovered she had a talent. When she was 9, she knew she had a gift. A gift Coca-Cola supports by sponsoring national Olympic teams in 154 countries around the world. A gift we celebrate as the Olympic spirit.
Can't beat the real thing.
A luxury car says a lot about its owner.
Mine says I'm witty beyond belief.
Mine says I'm more Europeanish.
Mine says I'm the product of superior genes.
A luxury car says
I'm so successful I can go into debt.
I'm much more handsome. Cosmopolitan.
Another pathetic sheep following the herd.
Says a lot. I'm irresistible.
Powerful.
Stylish. Sexy.
Dynamic.
The all-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. All it says is that you bought a great car and you can still pay your mortgage.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by Bud Dry, dry brewed so it drinks light yet satisfies completely. And by Subaru, it's what to drive.
A big win for the Sacramento Kings, 112-109, and the Los Angeles Clippers cannot say that they didn't have their chances. They had them, but in that closing sequence of plays, final couple of minutes, Kings made all the big baskets, all the big free throws, all the big rebounds, and got all the big blocks.
Well, that is key in winning close ball games. The Clippers definitely had their chances in this game. Terrible free throw shooting, and that's going to be the story of this one.
Sacramento is now 14-30 on the year. The Clippers have lost 4 in a row. They're 20-24. Here's our Budweiser player of the game, Lionel Simmons. He was the go-to guy in that fourth quarter. Finishes the night with 28 points. That's just 5 off his season high. 11 from 17 from the field for Lionel Simmons. Be sure to stay with TNT. NBA action will continue on Wednesday night. That's Wednesday of next week from the Boston Garden. It'll be the Houston Rockets and the Boston Celtics. And coming up next on TNT, Inside the NBA. Busy night tonight in the NBA. Fred Hickman and Hannah Storm will have all the highlights. For Jack Evans, Pete Van Wern speaking to you from ARCO Arena in Sacramento, where tonight it was the Kings over the Clippers, 112-109. Good night, everyone.
A promotional fee has been paid by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
Mama may have, Harper may have, but God, just a child that's got his own. That's got his own.
The movies, interviews, and rare shorts. TNT salutes black performers. All February long on TNT. Congratulations to TNT's ACE Award-winning exclusive premieres, special events, and sports events.
The ace goes to Christine Lottie, Crazy from the Heart.
And the 8th award goes to Vanessa Redgrave, Young Catherine.
Documentary series, Trials of Life, TNT. Informational documentary host, David Attenborough, The Trials of Life, TNT. NBA All-Star Saturday, TNT.
I want to thank all the people at TNT. Keep it up.
The fascination always existed. The human body, without doubt, is the greatest of inventions. Flawless in design, capable of astonishing feats. Amazingly, the harder the body is worked, the stronger, more beautiful it becomes. To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 32 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance. All on a machine that fits in the corner of your home. Soloflex, simple and efficient, like the body itself. Which may explain why it looks less like a machine and more like a work of art. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Tonight, inside the NBA, the Bulls attempting to avoid 3 straight losses for the first time this season, and the Blazers trying to win their 5th straight. Dominique Wilkins dealing with the pain of sustaining the first serious injury of his career, while Purvis Ellison begins to come into his own. And in Phoenix, they simply had a ball that night, as will we this night. Next!
Inside the NBA with your hosts, Fred Hickman and Hannah Storm.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for staying up and for joining us. I'm Hannah Storm.
And I'm Fred Hickman, and be it late, we're still living large. Terrific. We got some terrific action tonight, some great highlights to show you. A nice little feature coming up later on Purvis Ellison. But first, that never-ending battle between Phoenix and Utah.
Boy, don't they have a great rivalry? Their playoff meetings, these two teams know each other well, and they really get geared up for playing each other. It was evident again tonight in a matchup between Phoenix and Utah. Not only great rivals, but also at this time, 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference. The Hot Suns had risen in the Pacific with 10 wins in their last 12 games coming into that scene tonight. And the Midwest Division leading Jazz, right in tune at the new Delta Center, they had the 2nd best home record in the NBA. The result, overtime for the 2nd time in 2 meetings between these teams, and we shouldn't even be surprised at that. And Jazz coach Jerry Sloan getting tossed early in the game, leaving it to Phil Johnson. And Johnson's Jazz were down after this runner by Jeff Hornacek of the Suns. Late in the 3rd quarter, tight game the whole way. Jeff Malone misses. After a scramble, it's Hornacek again. He starts the race against the clock. Will he make it with time running out? Sure he will. The layup, and the Suns are within 1. It's 81-80. 4th quarter, Jazz down by 3, but Karl Malone, the fake, the drive, the slam. Malone, 43 points, 16 rebounds, his team within 1. And then Malone again, misses. Time running out in the game, but he puts it in to tie the game up at 106 and take it into overtime. 11 seconds left in OT, Suns by 1. Delaney Rudd sat on the bench all night, but then came off and hits the jumper from the corner to give Utah the 1-point lead. Last chance for Phoenix. It's in Jeff Hornacek's hands. The running jumper, no good. Bounces off the backboard, and the Jazz win at home. Boy, are they tough to beat at the Delta Center. They've won 7 of their last 9. They are now 19-2 at home. Kevin Johnson, in a losing effort, had 28 points and a season-high 18 assists for the Suns. Fred?
Well, the New Jersey Nets are on a 5-game trip west, and we're looking for their first win of the excursion tonight. But boy, did they pick a bad spot to pull over. A place where the Nets had not won since November 19th, 1985. A team which they hadn't beaten at all in the last 10 tries. That place, Portland, that team, the Trailblazers. And here's a look at the action tonight. Looked good early. Morris and Derek Coleman playing catch against Jerome Kersey, but Kersey comes up big. Guessed right. Big block. Bill Fitch, the co-product, not happy. Sam Bowie here. Look at the no-look pass to Morris, to Coleman for 2. Nicely done underneath the Nets, down by a deuce. Third quarter, and this is what you call hammer time. Chris Morris. It speaks for itself. Face job right in Buck Williams' face. Fourth quarter, the Nets are down by 15 at one point, but they go ahead in the fourth. Raphael Addison hits the jumper. Nothing but the bottom of the net, 97-96. But Clyde the Glide Drexler and this man, Terry Porter, the key down the stretch. The Blazers up by 1. They go up by 3 after this jump shot. A half-minute remaining, and the Blazers hang on for the victory by a final count of 113-108. The Blazers continue to be a relatively hot basketball team. They have now won 5 straight. And New Jersey, tough game tonight, but 0-4 on the trip.
Well, this is the kind of basketball news we don't like to hear. The Atlanta Hawks' Dominique Wilkins, who has been one of the league's most durable players over the last decade, Tuesday night, just 25 points shy of the 20,000 mark for his career, Wilkins went down with a season-ending injury. He had missed just 18 games due to injury in his first 9 seasons in the NBA. But Dominique suffered the first serious injury of his career, tearing his right Achilles tendon during a game against the 76ers. Wilkins underwent surgery on Thursday. His doctor, Jack Houston, said that he had to splice and weave together 30 to 40 strands of tendon that had torn loose, and said the doc looked like the end of a mop. Houston said, however, that Wilkins should recover to full strength, but not for at least 6 months.
Of course, I'm hurt with not playing and not being there with the guys. The hardest thing for me is just sitting on the sideline watching. I think that's the hardest thing. I think the easiest thing would be the rehabilitation, because I'm the type of guy who will always work hard anyway, so that wouldn't be a problem.
He's been our scorer for all these years. This year, with 28 point plus a night, we need to distribute the ball, get the open man. Don't rely on one man to score and take the place of Dominique. We can't do that. We need to disperse the ball and get the open man, and hopefully we can fulfill that void.
No one is going to take his role. I think, you know, if anybody tried to come in and get 28 and do Dominique's job, you wouldn't be able to do that. But we've got 20-some shots to spread around on the team through the game, and that's the way we'll approach it.
At the time, Wilkins was second in the NBA in scoring, and he had been named to the East All-Star squad just hours before his injury. Fred?
That's right, that announcement coming. Everybody was happy, and then everybody was sad, but that's the way it goes in the NBA. Tough break indeed. But you know the starters for February 9th in Orlando, the All-Star game. But here are the supporting cast members announced this week. A look at the guy who will replace Wilkins, first of all, and the rest. Forward Kevin Willis will come aboard, probably deserved it anyway with the first half he had, especially on the boards. Brad Daugherty is there representing the Cavaliers, Joe Dumars of the Pistons, Mark Price of the Cavs, Reggie Lewis of the Celtics, Dennis Rodman of Detroit, the league's leading rebounder, and Scottie Pippen of the Bulls. Out west, Mutombo, the Denver Rook, gets in. Olajuwon makes the grade, as does teammate Otis Thorpe of Houston. Thunder Dan is there with fellow son Jeff Hornacek. Worthy of the Lakers is in there, and 2 great point guards, Stockton and Tim Hardaway. The West is coached, of course, by Golden State's Don Nelson, while the East is coached by Chicago's Phil Jackson. And by the way, the word from Earvin Magic Johnson this week is that he is at least considering unretiring. He says, quoting here, "I'm okay to play if I want to play," end of quote. Johnson, who retired 12 weeks ago after learning he'd contracted the HIV virus which causes AIDS, is to have his number 32 retired by the Lakers later this month. He is playing in the All-Star game and the Summer Olympics in Barcelona. Hannah?
Magic Johnson, certain to be a future Hall of Famer, and today 9 new members of the Basketball Hall of Fame were announced. Among them, New York playground legend Connie Hawkins. The Hawk was tossed out of Iowa during his freshman year in a gambling scandal, and he was subsequently banned by the NBA for 7 years. Hawkins insisted throughout the years that the accusations were untrue, and the NBA finally lifted the ban in 1969 after settling a damage suit for more than $1 million. But Hawks' only thoughts of vindication today were with the guys back home.
I have to give a lot of credit to a lot of players that played back then when I was playing, and mainly to the guys in Brooklyn that used to beat me up and call me a little kid and smack me around and tell me I never amount to anything. I got you guys now.
Also inducted 8-time All-Star Bob Lanier. Also the first 2 women to receive the honor, Delta State great Louisa Harris and also AAU star Nera White. Also some coaches, Lou Carnesecca of St. John's, former Marquette coach Al McGuire, Jack Ramsey, whose 864 career victories ranked 2nd in NBA history. Also the late Phil Wolpert, who led San Francisco to the NCAA title in '56 and '55. Also elected as a player was Sergei Belov, a perennial star for the Soviet national team that won the gold medal in the 1972 Olympics. The 9 will be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame May 11th in Springfield, Massachusetts. And it's just too bad that the Hawk never got to play in his prime in the NBA, although fans of the ABA and also the Harlem Globetrotters got to see him.
Yeah, Pittsburgh in the old ABA. And, of course, you know the story about the coin flip when Phoenix and Milwaukee came in. Milwaukee got in that deal some guy named Al Cindor or something
Lou
like that.
Alcindor, later to become Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's right. Bob Lanier, human lane violation, size what, 38 shoe or something like that? Still to come, we've got highlights from Dallas, from Washington, from Oakland, and points beyond, and also those from Phoenix, where they got together for charity and had a ball. So lace them up and give us a break. Be back in a moment.
Inside the NBA is brought to you by Advil in tablets or caplets. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
It was just another Saturday afternoon until those old guys came out of the woods with axes. Just when we thought it couldn't get any weirder, it did. They even brought their own music.
Awesome! Hey, fellas, how about a cold bud?
A bud? Obviously, we thought alike.
Oh, that's cold.
3M salutes the Olympic athletes who found a better way. Whose ideas were so original, there's no going back. That same innovative thinking helped us invent fiber optic products like FiberLock, a vital link in worldwide communications. 3M, innovation working for you.
Upper Deck takes you there.
We know how hard you work. We'll work that hard for you. We believe in putting people first in everything we do. Every time we fly, every mile of sky, everything we do. U.S. Air begins with you.
Everybody's different.
Completely different. One person works one way, another person works another.
There's no business exactly like yours, which is why IBM offers thousands of customized software programs and free seminars, all designed to help you run things your way.
You don't have anybody else to count on, to blame things on when things go wrong, but you get all the glory when things go right.
All right, next we're going to head on down to the great state of Texas. It seems like a place where Bulls ought to do pretty well for themselves, but alas, the world champs were squished and squashed flat as armadillos on a dark road at night in San Antonio, and then two-stepped in Houston. Would they fare any better tonight against those Dogies down in Dallas who've been struggling so mightily? Well, they had good boots. I'm not even going to say it. Anyway, Scottie Pippen inbounds. Michael Jordan. Pippen works off a great pick by Bill Cartwright for the baseline reverse. Pippen had 20 points. But watch Michael Jordan here. Takes it down, sees nobody open, so he takes it in by himself. Hangs. You know, you look at it because nobody else could see it, and Michael didn't look at it himself. Great move, great shot, worth another look. Gets inside, simply knows where the square is on the back of the backboard. That's what they teach us on the playground, right? Not. Second quarter, Scottie Pippen. Watch him lob it up to Mike. Big time, gets behind everybody, got a little back pick over there, and it's an 8-point Bulls lead. And then Jordan here drops the ball, loses it, gets it back, creates, just crawls it over the front of the rim. Richie Adebayo, it just doesn't get any better than that, does it? The Bulls are winners tonight. The Mavs have now lost 15 of their last 16. All kinds of dissension with this team. Donaldson jacking up Roe Blackman in practice earlier this week. He got suspended for a day for that. The Mavs are just a mess. Anyway, on to Indianapolis. The Pacers and the Hawks working overtime. A little bed and breakfast there, I guess. In the second quarter, Stacey Augmon misses. Michael Williams breaks out. Chuck Person give it to Reggie Miller for the reverse. Nicely done. 44-31 Pacers. But in the fourth quarter, Kevin Willis hit not one, but two three-pointers to tie the game at 99. Yes, he is the 7-footer. And then in overtime, Michael Williams picks up the loose ball. It was all Indiana, and goes coast to coast for two. 105-99 right there. It was 115-106. The final in overtime, the Pacers' way. The Atlanta Hawks, if you're keeping score, are now 1-1 in the post-Dominique era.
Meanwhile, the Knicks were visiting the Bullets tonight in the back end of a home-and-home series after New York got a 12-point win at home to hand Washington its 7th straight loss Wednesday night. The surging Knicks came in with 4 straight victories, and then they beat the Bullets for the second time in 3 nights, even though they blew a big lead tonight at the Cap Center. Pat Riley trying to lead his team to a season-high 4th straight win on the road. The X-Man, Xavier McDaniel, faking out Harvey Grant, the short leaner. He was 8 of 9 in the first half and finished with 29 points. 2 possessions later, Gerald Wilkins, nice baseline move over Purvis Ellison. The Knicks up by 8. Later in the first, Ellison with a power move in the hoop gets Charles Oakley. His team is within 10, but then the Knicks blew a 20-point lead, and the Bullets get back in it with some stingy defense. Tom Hammond's big block of the X-Man. It's 108, everybody. Going into OT, Pat Ewing takes over. In the extra period, he had 6 of his 20 points in OT. The Knicks come up with a 125-114 win. The Bullets have not won since January 14th against Indiana. Knicks have won 5 in a row. They're 4-0 in overtime games. Purvis Ellison finished with 19 points and 19 rebounds in a losing effort.
Boy, that Purvis. You know, sometimes guys hit this league with a big bang. They land on the NBA floors running as rookies. For others, though, it takes a little time, and one such case is Purvis Ellison. Never more nervous as the former top draft pick overall is arriving. CNN's Jim Huber tells us about this one point of light, which is outshining the rest in Washington.
Things came early and fast for Purvis Ellison. Never nervous Purvis, they called him right away, as the graceful freshman from South Georgia led Louisville to a national championship just like that. Lord, would there be no stopping this one? Maybe 3 more championships, a couple quick NBA titles, and right into the Hall of Fame? Well, Louisville never won another tournament game with Ellison in the lineup, and as the NBA's #1 draft choice, he has yet to play on a winning team. But the curve might have turned upward again the day Ellison was traded to the Bullets by Sacramento to learn at the feet of one of the game's legends.
Coach Unsell's a player coach, and he's been through the vigors of the NBA season, and he understands the highs and lows that a player can go throughout an NBA season.
You've got to have skill, and Purvis has that. And for me, it's just been a job of trying to get him to understand how to use the skill that he has.
And the transformation under Unseld has the NBA agape. If Purvis Ellison isn't the NBA's most improved player, he is in the top 2.
Purvis is right now, you know, one of the most improved players in the league, and they've got themselves a real great player in the future.
You can't really improve during the season. It's always during the off season. You have to really dedicate yourself to do the things that you know that you have to do in order become a better player. And this past summer, I did those things, and it's really helped me out a lot this year.
Because Purvis Ellison made such an immediate impact on the nation's basketball consciousness as a center way back when, we still think of him as that. And in the Bullet scheme of things, he is working under a coach who was himself an undersized NBA center, but it's not where he figures he belongs.
I played center in college, so it's not like I'm not used to it, but I think I would be more suitable at the forward spot.
He realizes, and so do I, that he's giving away pounds. Okay, we understand that. So, what do? Do you not go in there and knock heads because you don't weigh as much? Then come over and sit down next to me. There are no options.
Never nervous Purvis then continues to grow as a player, never nervous, but perhaps getting a bit anxious to get back to the pinnacle again. Jim Huber, inside the NBA.
Never more nervous Purvis. I'll tell you what, if you've got to be a big guy who's got to learn how to play this game, what better teacher than Wes Unseld?
Oh, no kidding. And he was a god at Louisville because, said Purvis in his own words, because Wes played at Louisville, so Purvis heard about him throughout college. He had to just be tickled to death when he got traded there to Washington.
Yeah, Wes never backed up from anybody. Tough as a $2 steak when he was a player,
I think Purvis should be on the All-Star team.
Yeah, why not? We're writing him in right now, man.
All right, we will.
Okay.
Coming up, we'll do some other stuff, too. We'll check out the Nuggets and the Warriors. Also, the best from the rest of the week in the NBA. Just in case you missed it, we got it. The finest of the finesse and even a little rough stuff on the way on Inside the NBA. Ooh.
Every morning, like clockwork, one airline arrives in Great Britain non-stop from cities across the U.S. American Airlines to London's Heathrow and Gatwick, to Glasgow and Manchester. More non-stops to Great Britain than any other U.S. airline. American Airlines, something special to Great Britain.
You know what's smart? This Magnavox digital CD shelf system that's incredibly powerful, compact, but what's really smart is this Magnavox 8mm Easy Cam that weighs less than 2 pounds. But what's really brilliant is this 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR. But what's ingenious is this 31-inch with the smart window that lets you see other channels and swap the picture. You know what's smart? This Magnavox digital CD... Again. Go away.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
Yeah, I can tell just by looking at you, you could use some fun, right? Big fun. Las Vegas, Atlantic City, the Caribbean, cruise ships. But you got to take this along, the Players Club card. It's going to save you a lot of money.
Well, that particular weekend, we saved $120 on the room.
Fabulous rooms in first-class resort hotels. Use the card and take 25% off every day, any day. And you like to eat, right? Well, take your Players Club card.
And they just automatically take 25% off of the meal.
And no hassle, saving even more money. Airfare. We're up to half off on shows and entertainment. So why are they so good to you?
There's something about Players Club members that just stands out. They come to places like the Las Vegas Hilton and to the Flamingo Hiltons to have a good time. And that spreads to people around them.
Call Players Club now. You're too smart to pay full price.
New members get 2 free nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City when the club books their flights. Call now, 1-800-421-2000.
The Golden State Warriors headed into their game with Denver tonight, trying to break a season-high 3-game losing streak. And the chances of that happening appeared pretty good. Denver was 0 for 3 against Golden State coming into tonight's game, and the Nuggets have only managed 3 wins on the road all season. Well, they did not manage their 4th at the Coliseum tonight. Todd Lichty taking it at the baseline behind his back, and a super move for the bucket. And the Warriors are up early. Warriors with the ball, Tim Hardaway. Bullet pass backdoor to Chris Mullin for the reverse. Mullin finished with 26 points. Meanwhile, look at the move that Hardaway puts on Dikembe Mutombo right over the big guy there, and he keeps the Warriors on top. End of the first half, Reggie Williams drives in, tosses it straight up, and it goes up and down. 17 points. That ties the game at 60 at the half. Second half, Warriors come alive. Billy Owens spinning around Joe Wolf for the jam. Owens finishing with 19 points. Warriors gradually build their lead. It's up to 6, and then they run away with it down the stretch. Hardaway, alley-oop jam, just serves it right up for Chris Gatling. 21-point lead for Golden State. This is a rout. Denver falls to 3 and 16 on the road. The Warriors remain 1.5 games behind the Blazers in the Pacific. And in a game you saw earlier on TNT, the Clippers dropped their 4th in a row, 21 points from Charles Smith in the loss, as the Kings' Lionel Simmons puts in 28 to give Sacramento a win at home. Fred?
And an interesting thing happening with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jimmy Rogers came in as head coach, wanted to change this franchise from a team which thought defense almost to the point of myopia to one which dared to run. So far, the grand experiment walks stiffly and has bolts in its neck. It is big. It is a scary monster. The defensive efforts have been inconsistent while the offense has been offensive. Other than that, things are going along quite nicely. Well, tonight, the Wolves were munched upon by the San Antonio Spurs, and here's a look at how. Gerald Glass takes the hard foul. Sidney Green was ejected, and Glass didn't return to action. Third quarter, Willie Anderson passes to David Robinson. Look at the good control, the nice hands, nice jam, 59-58, T-Wolves still leading. Now, Pooh Richardson makes a steal over to Tony Campbell. Richardson dishes to Doug West. Jumper, good. 98-96 T-Wolves. Now, 1 minute left in the game. They didn't play hard. Pooh Richardson misses. Rod Strickland gets the outlet, goes in for the layup. Spurs up by 2. And then 7 seconds left in the game. Spurs still by 2. Doug West has got a crack at it, but misfires. One of the better games the Timberwolves have played probably in the last month and a half, but they come up short, losing it 103 to 101. Hannah?
Pretty cold, Fred, about this Timberwolves. I don't know.
That's the way it goes.
In addition to becoming a force in the Pacific Division, the Phoenix Suns are also trying to be a force in their community. And earlier this month, they held a rather unusual charity ball. The event is called the Phoenix Suns Courtside Classic. This was the 4th annual, with the proceeds going to Phoenix Suns charities. Well, this was, yes, the unusual part about it. Well, there was dining and dancing, but there was also a Pop-A-Shot, and everybody wore high tops and sneakers. Makes it a lot more comfortable for dancing, as you can see. And with the entire Suns team participating, about 700 guests were in attendance.
This is a nice affair and a big affair for the Phoenix Suns charities, and we're just delighted to be here. It gives the players a chance to get out and meet our fans, and that's also important to our organization.
We have to get back to the community. It's the fans and the people around town here that really support us and that really, make it fun for us at the game. So we enjoy doing a few things for them.
The Phoenix Suns, first in fashion and charity. The Courtside Classic raised $100,000 for local causes. Still to come on Inside the NBA, the Celtics and the Bucks and the rest of the night's scores after this timeout.
Today, Tech-Tred Shoe Corporation announced a major retail expansion in 25 U.S. cities.
When I see a company that looks like a good investment, I check it out myself.
We make it easier to follow your own lead.
At Charles Schwab, I can get quotes, financial news, and when I make a trade, commission savings.
Always there to give you just the help you need.
Help yourself at Schwab today.
Now, this is a car that's definitely going places. It's called Elantra, a new sedan so well-built and worry-free, it even comes with its own security blanket. 2 years service and maintenance free. About all you pay for is gas. Now, why would you want to go anyplace in anything else? The new Elantra from Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai.
If I want to keep playing baseball, I'm going to have to keep working. There's no off-season anymore. Every day it's just me and a pile of iron, or a bike I ride forever. And when I get sore, I take Advil. It's strong, it works, and I know it helps. And Advil's gentler on my stomach than aspirin. To last as long as I have, you got to stick with what works. That's why I use Advil.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
The bigger they are, the harder they jam. The NBA's best. Look back, look sharp, and look to the sky. All-Star Saturday, February 8th on TNT.
NBA Wednesday on TNT. The Rockets know it's tough on the road, but it's even tougher in the Boston Garden. The Rockets take on the Celtics Wednesday at 8 on TNT. Bigger than life.
Inside the NBA is brought to you by Advil in tablets or caplets. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Okay, so you're thinking, what happened to the rest of the games? Could they have forgotten? We never forget. Let's take a look at some of the other scores around the league tonight. First, the Celtics and the Bucks playing in Milwaukee this evening. Milwaukee eking one out over Boston, trying to heal themselves a little bit. Malone with a big game in that one. The Magic and the Sixers. The Sixers swatted them away. Bol, in fact, with 7 blocks of his own. The Sonics and the Hornets at Charlotte tonight, pounding the guys at home in the Hive, 122-105. And the Heat losing to the Pistons, Joe D and Zeke, both with big games. Hannah?
The final edition of In Case You Missed It for the first half of the NBA season comes to you courtesy of our Vince Cellini with a little help from the Coos.
Well, we don't have Johnny Carson this week, but we do have a lot of good stuff. Celebrities included, from the War of the Roses to the War of the Noses. Chuck Daly schnoz is loaded, so you better stand back. Or get back. Craig Elo is swatted by Anthony Bowie. Then Patrick Ewing with an enormous block. And Richard Lewis, for one, is having trouble dealing with all this rejection, not to mention the guilt. Still, we move ahead. Some modes of transportation. Scottie Pippen went by car, then decided to fly. But this car is still running. Fill her up from half court. I'll tell you, the NBA is one exciting league. No matter how long you've been around it, it never ceases to amaze. Just listen to Celtic announcer Bob Cousy go wild after this David Wingate play.
Wow, what a play by David Wingate.
Easy, Coos. Pace yourself. You know, it's a long season. All right, Simon says put your hands on your head. Simon says cheer for your team. Make a ridiculous bank shot. I didn't say Simon says. Say, here are some passes you don't see every day. Isaiah Thomas with a tremendous dish.
Wow, what a play.
Inbounds play to the Admiral.
Wow, what a play.
Coos, you are a wild man. All right, stay under control. Everyone will have a chance to meet a celebrity, I promise. Quit pushing. Here's Lou Gossett Jr., Billy Crystal. Let's see, is Regis Philbin here? No, but like Reg, we're out of control. But if we leave you with anything today, it's the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Dennis Rodman makes a great save, and here come the Pistons, without Rodman. So they have some time to kill. Anyone seen the worm here? Well, yeah, wait, there he is. Here comes Dennis Rodman, and yeah, he's just in time to hit a three-pointer.
Wow, what a play.
Way too much excitement for me. Now I gotta go.
Our apologies to Bob Cousy.
Coos has got to get a little vacation time, and he's working too hard. Anyway.
Top game of the night, right? Utah gets a big win at home in overtime against what's becoming one of their arch rivals, the Phoenix Suns. 1-point win, Delaney Rudd with the game-winning shot, and at the new Delta Center, they're 19-2 as they solidify their hold on the Midwest Division.
But Jeff Malone drawing the heat to him, getting the double team and
there you
finding the
go.
open guy. Always important. Anyway, we're going to get out of here, but coming up, we got a good movie, of course. Two things about it. One is going to be good. The other is going to be in color. That's right. We've been working together a while. I'm Fred Hickman.
And I'm Hannah Storm. Good night.
Live large.